But sometimes if I'm in like really deep sleep after I'm like really tired, I will sleep talk. So someone could come into my room and have a full conversation with me, and I'll wake up the next day and not remember it. And for whatever dumb reason, at 2 a.m. in the middle of this camp, I'm looking over at that and I'm like, wow, that sounds like a really cool YouTube name. And someone on the Reddit pointed out how symbolic it was that the first kill was me killing Nominal and the final kill was him killing me. And out in front of the building, there was, like, on an island, there was this zombie piglin in a boat that said, please do not touch, like, don't move him. And I looked at it, I was like, please do not touch. That's really funny. So I got in the boat and drove it 2,000 blocks away and built it a little house. We got second place in a Minecraft map jam, which got our map automatically accepted into Minecraft Realms.
Alright lads, welcome back to InsideMC, the part of the podcast where I sit down with an amazing guest every single week. And this week I'm joined by somebody who I've actually learned over like these last maybe like week or so, or just as much as like how I've been interacting with them, that I actually know a lot more about this person without knowing it was actually them. You'll find out as the podcast goes on. However, I am joined with the amazing, a blue blob force of it.
Hello! How are you doing, Orbits?
I'm well, who's the one asking questions here? I thought it was me. I'm good. How about yourself?
You interested me with the with what you just said. I didn't know that you knew like more about me than I'm curious as to these questions now. Sorry for interrupting you, by the way.
No, you didn't interrupt me. You're good. I was just asking how you were as well. No, I find out, and we will. I think one of the biggest ones, which we'll get into later, because I don't want to jump to regarding MCC Rising 2. I actually know a lot more about you than I realized because I didn't know it was you. So.
Cool.
But we'll talk about that either way anyways.
Okay.
But yeah, how are you?
I'm doing good. It's been a crazy past few weeks, but I'm keeping myself busy. Been planning for Vidcon recently, so that's exciting. Are you going, I don't know if you go on any big trips, but are you going to like TwitchCon or VidCon or anything? Or is that public?
I'm going to TwitchCon. I talk about like every podcast.
Nice.
I'm going to TwitchCon Rotterdam at the end of the month, and I'm very, very excited.
Oh, it's gonna be so cool. I'm sad that I'm missing out on the MCC. Like I'm rooting for Sandwich and Wolfie and them, like seeing all the new people and Fulham and Curryway. I'm excited to see all these new people show up. It's gonna be an experience to watch across the world at VidCon.
I'm super interested to see how it goes. I mean, like, because I went to TwitchCon last year as well. You went to Las Vegas last year, didn't you?
I did not go to Vegas. I did not. I have not been
God.
to a TwitchCon. I
was so confident in that fact that you went to TwitchCon. That's so bad.
Nope.
Did you go to VidCon last year or no?
I went to VidCon.
Okay, that's probably where I got confused. Yeah. You tend to go to VidCon like a decent amount as opposed to TwitchCon. How comes?
I've only gone once.
But I mean, as in this year and last year, still a decent amount to me. It's 2-0 basically.
That's true. Well, I mean, last year last year a big group of my friends wanted to meet up because we've been around like online together for like 2 years. We had never really met each other. Like some people here or there had little meetups when they lived close to each other, but we're all across America and countries and like everywhere. So we were trying to like find a place to meet up, and we heard some people were going to VidCon, and we're like, oh, there we go. And we scheduled it like 8 months in advance and like made all these plans for it. And when we went, there were a ton of people there. It was so much fun. At that point in time though, I hadn't really used Twitch much. Like I used Twitch a little bit, like I'd stream occasionally, but I hadn't really gotten into more of the Twitch community yet, so I didn't even consider TwitchCon. I think this year was the year I was considering TwitchCon, but because of my experience last year with VidCon, I wanted, like, the same group was going, I wanted to be able to experience it again with more people and do more things. So that's why, but maybe in a future year I'll consider TwitchCon. It sounds very exciting, so yeah. I'm
going to say this very briefly to you because I'm talking to a different person as opposed to the listeners who are so bored of this story most likely. I'm saying it very quickly this time. Last year I did a round trip to TwitchCon in Paris, so I went at 6 a.m. in the morning, came back home at like 9 p.m. 10 p.m.
Oh man.
So that was long. Whereas this time I'm like fully prepping, as in I'm getting the Eurostar on a Friday and then getting it home on a Tuesday. So I'm going to be there Friday, Saturday. I'm getting it Friday morning as well. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then come home Tuesday afternoon. So I'm actually prepared this time around, which is really nice. So very excited.
That's awesome. No, that sounds sick. Okay, cool.
Before we carry on talking about VidCon, because I do want to ask some more questions about it, but I don't want to steer too far from how the intro goes.
That makes sense.
I always like to give the introduction for you to introduce yourself. I mean, we've had this little talk here and I said what I said, but who are you? What do you do? If you have a fun fact, maybe.
Oh, introduce myself? This is like middle school or like elementary school, and they're like, all right, say a name, say what ice cream flavor you like what's your favorite thing. I've always hated those because I never know what to say. I don't know who I am, but I guess like, hello, I am 4C. People never know how to pronounce my name, and I think that's hilarious. But I'm 4C. I'm an SMP content creator who is on Lifesteal and was on MCC Rising last year, which was really cool. Yeah,
there you go.
I feel like that's a pretty straightforward intro.
Okay, back to VidCon talk, because I was enjoying that.
Okay.
So like, who? Because I remember with VidCon last year, there was this like big picture that there was like a bunch of creators. I think most of them were SMP creators. I can't remember who off the top of my head. I can't even remember if you were in it, but were you or no?
I was in that photo. It was so funny, that group photo that they did. I was walking in the lines, like the registration lines, the massive lines. They were huge. And I saw a group of people that I recognized, and it was so funny because one of them reached out to me and then they added me to a group chat on Discord because they saw that I was there. And it was like 8 people from all different houses, and they're like, all right guys, tomorrow at 2 p.m. we're all meeting up outside the VidCon thing for a massive photo. And there were like 200 creators there. It was crazy. It was really cool.
That's pretty sick though. I mean, like, I guess that comes under the whole experience of what you was mentioning with the big meetup and stuff like that. That's what made it so good.
Yeah, there was just, I feel like there were so many people. I don't know if it'll be the same way this year, but there were so many people from all sorts of different communities that I got to meet who I knew, and it was awesome. It feels, you don't realize how big of a community it is online until you get there and you see them all face to face.
That's what's kind of making me so excited for TwitchCon, because I know so many people are going. It's just like, damn, I'm gonna meet so many people in person. It's like, oh crap, like this community is actually real. Like, this isn't AI. These people are actually genuine human beings. They don't just like, I'm not the main character and these are just side characters. These are all real people living their lives, and they're all here in one bloody convention center. So
and it's both cool and scary because I kind of grew up. My family is very strict with online stuff. Like, I was able to play Minecraft, but I wasn't able to make a YouTube channel until like 2015, 2016. But I was allowed to record videos, so I have like videos back from like 2013 or whatever, 2012 Minecraft that I just never posted anywhere. But it's kind of funny to me. Like, my parents have always been very strict. Like, you don't want to, like, because I was young, I was a kid. They didn't want me all over the place, but they were very like, be careful like with your name and security and stuff. And it was scary going like across the world because I've never left the country, and California is probably the farthest I've ever traveled. And so going to there, live in a house with like 10 to 20 strangers who I have never met face to face is like a big deal. It was a crazy experience. I mean, I knew them online for 2 years, so I had trust with them, and they were very awesome people. I love all of them, but it is a scary experience to do that type of trip. So I don't know.
I could never...
Are you staying with people at TwitchCon, or are you just going alone, or like family?
So I'm going with someone. We're getting Eurostar together. They decided they wanted to get the Eurostar at 6 a.m. So we can't check into our hotel until 3 p.m. But I was about to say before you asked, which is funny, is I could never stay in an Airbnb with like a big group of people because of, firstly, my stomach. Like, I don't know if I have IBS or not. I don't really want to like find out because of the way you find out is a bit inconvenient. But my stomach can kind of just like turn. I can eat the same food like for 5 days in a row, and I could be fine the first like 3, have a bad turn on the 4th, and then be fine on the 5th. It's really weird. So because of that, I don't really want to share an Airbnb. And secondly, it's also just the way I deal with my anxiety, because like I don't have it diagnosed, but it's very clearly a thing. But it can kind of just sometimes hit me where I have coughing fits, or like I need to like, I don't know, if I just like stand there and I like, need to, I don't know, basically like splash water on my face or whatever. But I don't really want to be in Airbnb having like multiple coughing fits because I just get a random like bit of anxiety. So if I'm in a hotel room with just one other person who I've known like for a very long time, and obviously we've stayed together and stuff before, it's like they know what to expect and they're fine with what to expect. So it's less embarrassing, especially with creators, because I trust creators and creators are amazing. But there's just always that thing of like how creators.
You're thinking about it yourself in the back of your mind. Like, it's like they probably wouldn't care, but to you care about it, and I'm assuming that you would care about it, and
yeah, exactly.
You are, it's just self-conscious stuff, and I get that.
It's just
I have
like,
things like that.
I don't mind saying that, like, I don't mind telling people that, like, I have coughing fits or this or that. I don't mind publicly saying it. It's just the idea of people hearing you saying it. It's not even for me. It's not even embarrassing me. It's more so just it's inconvenient. Like, if I'm staying with someone and I hear them constantly having coughing fits, or apparently, like, apparently, like, one time I shouted in my sleep, and I talk in my sleep quite a bit. So if I wake people up because I'm talking in my sleep, it's just the idea of, like, I don't want to be inconvenienced. And plus, hotel's comfortable. I mean, I get a nice bed, you know, it's my own space, own bathroom, everything. So
you just reminded me something. That's something I was afraid of too. Not like the coughing fit thing, but I'm a very deep sleeper sometimes, and it scares me because I don't like sleepwalk or anything, but sometimes if I'm in like really deep sleep after I'm like really tired, I will sleep talk. So someone could come into my room and have a full conversation with me, and I'll wake up the next day and not remember it. And that is terrifying to me because like I could get into like some argument with someone when I'm asleep, wake up and they're mad at me and I don't know why. And it's like the worst feeling in the world because that's happened before when I was younger, when I was like going to school, like my parents trying to wake me up, and they were trying to wake me up, they yell at me, and then I would yell back, and I wake up the next day and my parents are like really pissed off, and I'm like, what'd I do? I don't remember doing it. It's scary. I don't know. I thankfully didn't have that issue when I was at VidCon. I feel like when I am at a place that I'm not used to, like a place that I don't know, like not at home or not like at like school, like places where I'd sleep a lot, it takes more of time for my body to actually like sleep for a long period, like deep sleep. So no, I'm usually fine on trips, but it's something that I'm always scared of happening. It has not happened yet.
I'm also just not one for like pranks and stuff. For instance, back in year 11, so that would have been 2019. I went on a school trip to Berlin with my school, and we all shared a what's called hotel room, and like a hotel, so we had multiple hotel rooms. And long story short, basically I didn't get to choose what room I was in because food tech, I was doing food tech at the time, and my teacher kept me, so everyone picked their rooms and I got put in a room with 3 friends, and I wasn't exactly the most popular in school, and some of these people really liked me, nor did I like them. And I remember like I was there for like 5 days and I just hated the experience because I loved it. I loved Berlin and stuff, but like they were all playing pranks on each other, and like I remember like getting like the top bunk bed in the corner, and they were like, you know, one of them was like a toothpaste on someone else's face and stuff, and I'm like, if people did that, like if I shared an Airbnb, it'd be fine, but I also just it's just not really my thing, you know?
Yeah, we didn't want to do that. Like all of us at our Airbnb, it was like respect of like don't mess around too much, and I think all of us were old enough to like understand that. I think I understand that feeling, that fear of the pranks. I think the closest thing to a prank that wasn't actually a prank that happened at our Airbnb, there's a few things, and I can't remember it all exactly, but there was one thing that was really funny. Some people passed out on our outdoor couch because there was an outdoor like patio area. They passed out on the outdoor couch, and someone who was sleeping on the couch in the living room didn't realize they were out there. And so they locked the patio door before going to bed. And so the person who woke up at 6 a.m. was locked outside on the patio couch. And they had to they got back in thankfully, but they had to go around the house to the front and type in the code to get in because they just were stuck. Like that's the closest thing to a break because it was cold. It was actually a lot colder in California than you'd think.
Oh no, I can imagine. Yeah, I can imagine. Especially at that time of year.
Yeah.
What is your... This has just become a VidCon talk. It's so funny now. It's like, I mean, you know what? The hype for... This podcast is coming out on the 21st. And exactly a week from now, I will be in Rotterdam. So I think the hype for conventions and stuff...
I will be going to VidCon as well, probably, when this comes out.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you'll
be on my
VidCon,
way.
Right? Oh, yeah,
VidCon starts...
Sorry, I mean in a week. So will you be in VidCon on the 28th, the Friday? Which is a week
I'll be there on the Friday.
Oh, so yeah, that's what I'm saying. So a week after this podcast, sorry. So on the Friday this podcast comes out, you'll be on your way. And then while this podcast, and then a week after this podcast, I'll be in Rotterdam and you'll still be at VidCon. Yep. Jeez.
Well, VidCon, I think, I don't remember when it starts. I'll be there the whole time, like the whole time frame. I think I'm flying in the day before, but I won't be anywhere. But I'll be there for the 4 days, and then we're staying an extra 2 days. So I'll be leaving July 1st. So it's 25th through the 1st. Crazy. So it's a good week. That's what we did last year too. Except last year we did an extra day because we wanted to go to the beach, which was cool. I have never been been to the Pacific Ocean, so that was like, wow, experience. It was really cool.
The hype is building.
The hype is building. Oh my god, VidCon last year was one of the coolest experiences I've ever had. I went from every single day, like almost every hour, we had something planned, or someone had something planned that we were allowed to go to. So we were like meeting up with different creators all the time. We were going to dinners, like big group dinners. We had Disney, the beach. We did escape rooms. It was just fun. I remember like the first day we went to the Lifesteal dinner. And it's crazy because like a couple weeks before then was when I first got into Lifesteal. And it was such a weird experience meeting all of them face to face. Oh my god. One of the weirdest experiences of first person that I meet was ClownPierce, right? Because like every person who I met, they would come up to me and introduce themselves or whatever. But when I first sat down in the steakhouse place that we were at, where we had the Lifesteal dinner, someone came up to me, looked me dead in the eyes, and goes, "Hi, I'm ClownPierce." And they go to give me a handshake, and I look at them, and I was like, "You look familiar. Like you're not ClownPierce. You're Spoke." And they're like, "Ah, you got me. Like that makes sense." And then someone else comes up to me a little bit later, and they come up and they shake my hand and they look me dead in the eye and they go, "Hi, I'm ClownPierce." And I'm like, "Are you?" No, you're not ClownPierce. I think it was Pofa. Like, "You're Pofa." And they're like, "Ah, you got me." And then ClownPierce comes up to me. Comes up, shakes my hand, looks me in the eyes, and goes, "Hi, I'm ClownPierce." I'm like, "No, you're not." And he's like, "What? What do you mean?" I'm like, "You're not ClownPierce. I know better." And he's like, "You're the first person who I've told the truth to. And you don't believe me?" I'm like, "I do not believe you. You are not ClownPierce." And he was so disappointed in me. It was Clown, but it was such like a funny introduction because everyone set it up in a way. It kind of like pranked me in a way. It was like a weird, I don't know if it was planned or not, but it was so funny.
That's so goofy. I remember when I met Nukuri. It's a funny story. So I go up to him and at TwitchCon. I look at him. I'm like, "Hi." Like I said to him like, "Hi, Nukuri, right?" Or something along those lines, right? And he looks at me, looks down at my badge, looks back up at me, and goes, "Oh!" But like it didn't cross my mind to like introduce myself. Because I think it was after this, maybe I remember because of that, after I met up with like Pickles as well, and I tell this story to like everyone, and it's still like it's so embarrassing, but I still say it's funny. I walk up to him and I'm passing it. I see him like, "Oh my god!" I said to like I was like, "That's Pickles." "Oh, Pickles." I was like, "Hi." I was like, "I'm Orbis." I gave him a handshake and then walked off. So don't worry. I think your interactions and stuff might be a little bit better than mine.
There are some funny interactions. I'll name two that I can remember right now. I don't want to go too long into too many like interactions, but one of them that was really funny. So Ulrich, right? I have been trying to plan a meetup with him for like a long time, or I was trying to plan a meetup with him until VidCon, and every single time it just kept getting canceled. And I had this thing, I don't remember how it started or who started it, but we wanted to, like, the first time we met in person, or the first time we see each other's faces is when we meet in person. That's what we wanted to do. Because we were close, we wanted to, like that face reveal be, like, when we meet, because I think that would be funny, right? And it had been going on for 2 years, where this face reveal, like, thing. And when VidCon was coming around, like, it's a big trip to go that far and do all that stuff. And Ulrich was talking to me, he was like, "Come on, like, maybe, like, for safety-wise, we probably should share faces." And I agreed. I was like, that's probably a good idea. And we were in a call with Maisie, and Maisie was like, "Hey, Ulrich, I'll pay you $8 to see your face right now." And Ulrich was like, "Deal." And Maisie paid him $8, and he showed her his face. And then Ulrich turned to me and goes, "Hey, 4C, if I pay you these $8, will you show me your face and then pass on the curse to Maisie and never show her your face until you meet at VidCon?" And I said, "Yeah, sure." And so we face revealed then. And then 8 months later, when I showed up at our house at VidCon, I handed Maisie the $8 in person. It was the funniest thing because she never saw my face until then.
That's such a good bit. Oh my
it
God.
Lasted so long, but she was the only person in my house that I didn't face reveal to.
Is that their agent or?
Yeah, Maisie Live. She wasn't a Clips SMP member.
Well, was it meant to be like who Mega Lol? I was just asking because in case, because a lot of creators, like, when you're telling a story like that, you say their name and you're like, "Oh crap, that's actually not their like online persona."
That is their online persona. Yeah.
Got you. That's so funny. That's such a good bit. Because I remember because I met Space and I was like playing basketball and like Space Space Brownies comes up to me, and like they bump in, like they nudge me a little bit. But like I was too invested in the basketball. I still remember them coming up to me and like nudging me and being all laughy joking. I said to them like, we need to recreate that interaction this year because I'm not satisfied by it. This year I'm gonna like, as soon as I see them, I'm just start screaming and crying like, oh my god, Space Brownies, oh my god. Just to like make up for like the bad interaction, because I was so invested in the basketball, you know. So like, you know,
yeah,
priorities. But you know, I'm so many people going to TwitchCon. I can't wait.
Yeah, there was one. I'm trying to remember there's some like different interactions that have happened, and they were really cool. Like it was really nice getting to meet like friends, other creators who I didn't really know that well, but I got to know like from different communities. And just it was also really weird to meet fans at VidCon. Like meeting, because I don't consider myself that like, I don't like what is it called, popular or anything. I just make videos because they're fun, like they're cool stories, and it feels weird to like meet somebody who's like a fan of my content in person who isn't a fellow creator, who's just a fan. And it's cool. It's really cool and really awesome. It's just I never really thought about it like that. Like there were different like artists and people who had like gifts and whatnot, which was really cool. So my parents, when I told them about this trip, I was like, I was 19, so I could make my own decisions about what I was doing or where I was going. And so I told them, hey, I'm going on this trip. Like, I'm paying for it myself. I'm doing all of this. I'm going on this trip no matter what. But like, it would be nice to let you guys know, like, hey, this is what I'm doing, and just communicating with them. And if you want to come, or if you want any like safety thing, that's up to you, but I'm going no matter what, right? And my parents were like okay with that. They were fine, as long as I was paying for it and everything. They were okay with me making that decision. And I think up until like a month before the trip, my dad actually came up to me and he was like, you know what? I've been thinking about wanting to go on a trip this summer, and he wanted to go to VidCon. So my dad originally said wasn't gonna go, but at like a month or a couple months before, he like changed his mind and was like, hey, I'll come just for safety for you, because it's like a big trip for you, but mainly because I want to go to VidCon as well. And I was like, awesome. And so my dad was there, but he never like followed us around like creator stuff. He just went off and did his own thing. He saw the creators that he wanted to see. He just kind of had a little cool adventure.
But what's
he was not in the picture. But what was funny, he got to meet a lot of my friends and like different creators. What is really funny with my dad is he told me the story one of the days. Apparently, he was in the line of one of the shops at the VidCon thing, like one of the like whatever it was. He was talking to this other either parent or kid, like he was talking to this other person who was in line. I don't remember what it was. And apparently that person who was I think it was a parent of someone. That person was who was in the line with him, knew who I was, and took a photo with my dad, like, because they knew who I was. And he thought it was the coolest thing ever. And I still find it so weird to me to think that someone out there has a photo with my father, and I don't know who they are. But it's just such a goofy experience. He thought it was the coolest thing ever that someone wanted to take a picture with him.
we had oh sorry, go on.
No, that was it.
I went to TwitchCon with someone and Pie 25. So I went with two people. One of my Twitch VIPs, Small Chloe, and then who I met there, and then I met Potato Pie 25 there also. So as me and Small Chloe were going to get like, I'm just gonna call her Chloe, as me and Chloe were going to get food and like drinks, Potato was like holding a bench for us, and I came back to him and was like, I have a story for you. I was like, what happened? What possibly happened in like the 10 minutes that I went to get us food and drink? So apparently someone walked up to him, went, oh my god, you're Potato Pie 25, the Hive Bedrock guy. Like, yeah, he's like, can I get a selfie?
Yo.
And he's like, yeah, sure. So he got a selfie, but like Potato never got his name right. I think it was a boy. Sorry if I'm misgendering here, but I'm recalling. I'll just say them. It's so there's like Potato was like, I didn't look at their name. I didn't think to look at their name. Like for a solid like 2 hours after, we were just looking through Twitter, waiting to see if like we'd find a creator or like if they'd post a picture or whatever, and nothing happened. I think like 5 days later or 6 days later or something, Potato made a tweet like just nothing regarding it, just a normal tweet, and then under it there's like a reply saying like, oh, I met you at TwitchCon, thank you for taking a picture of me. And it's just like, so we've never seen their name before or anything, right? And both, because I used to be a Bedrock creator as well. Neither of us recognized their name, and we were just like, what? That's so like weird. That's so, not weird in a bad way, just very funny that happened. So
yeah, it's surreal. It's really cool though. There's so many weird VidCon stories. All right, I don't want to go on too long with it. There is one thing that
we're getting happy. We're hyper.
It's
good. Yeah.
There was this one.
It's fine.
I think when we came up with the idea to go to VidCon, remember it was like an 8-month plan. We were planning like things we wanted to do. One thing that we really wanted to do was we wanted a taco night with our Eclipse group. And at the time, we weren't really that close with Rek at the time, but we wanted to invite Rekrap 2 to come to our taco dinner, our Eclipse taco dinner. And we thought that was the funniest thing ever. I think we competed in a Minecraft event to get money for the taco dinner, which ended up, because I won the event, that ended up being what got me to VidCon. Like, I would have not have been able to afford it at that time if it wasn't for that taco dinner, which is insane to think about. Or not that taco dinner, that event. Which is insane to think about. But what's really ironic is Rek, we actually had gotten closer with throughout the time frame of planning. So even though we had that special taco dinner with Rekrap 2, we ended up hanging out with him all week, and it was so funny because it started with because we had a pool at the Airbnb that we were staying at, and I'm pretty sure like on day 1 before the Lifesteal dinner, we got Rek's phone number and just called him up and said, yo, do you want to come hang out at our Airbnb? And he just hung out with us the whole week. He signed the back of the plushie. I brought the Rekrap plushie because the only reason I bought it was because Rek said that if I bought it, he would sign it at VidCon. So I got him to sign the back of the plushie.
Oh crap, that's so sweet.
Yeah, it was really nice. This year, actually, I'm gonna have Red sign his plushie. So I already made a deal with him. He said he's down to sign it, which is cool. So I'm getting my Lifesteal plushie collection. But yeah, no, there's so many like really nice, fun experiences with different creators, and I'm excited to see. Like, I was going to make a vlog actually with all the experiences. I'm almost done with it. I just kind of put it on hold. I probably should get that done before VidCon comes again, 'cause then it would confuse people a little bit. But I thought that was I vlogged the whole experience. It was such a great experience. Yeah.
I'm doing something on the Monday, hopefully. I mean, right now it is, but I can't confirm it. So, which is going to be exciting, which I'll probably have to ditch them for. But it's fine.
It'll be fine.
I have one more story, and then we should probably move on to talking more about you, because we've been talking about this for like 30 minutes now.
Yeah, my bad.
No, don't be. This is fun. And like I said, it's getting me really excited. So my final story is earlier this year I went to Insomnia. It's actually gone. I think it's liquidated or whatever now. It's not an event anymore, which is really strange. So I went to Insomnia Gaming Festival in Birmingham, and I like stayed in a hotel, which was actually kind of far out from the convention. Now that I look here, it actually was not a good idea to stay that far out. But it doesn't matter anymore because Insomnia isn't a thing. So I go, and then on the first night I stayed by myself, and on the second night I was staying with Captain AJX. He's the co-host of Midweek MC, and like we'd never met in person before. Like he showed me what he looked like, and he knew what I looked like because I posted pictures of myself on Twitch last year. And so anyways, this entire time I'm like, I thought I told my mum and dad, and then like I think like 4 days before or something, I'm like to them, is this win as a one? I was like, I told my like co-workers I'm like sharing a hotel with him. I mean, I'm a 20-year-old, like I was 20 at the time, so I was like, I'm 20 years of age, like I'm sharing a hotel with him, like I trust him. I mean, you know, it's like thing. And it's like, what, you're sharing a hotel with somebody? And it's like, yeah, I mean, like, because they're gonna be driving and stuff, so like it saves me money because they're gonna drive and then I'm gonna buy the hotel. I mean, it works. It's like it's a little there's like, have you ever met him? And it's like, no, because they thought it was potato pie at first. It's like, it's not potato pie. And it's like, oh, it's like that's not good. And then I turn around and I go like, it's AJX, it's fine. And so my dad had listened to a few podcasts at this point, just a thing. And so he turns around and he goes, oh, it's AJX, that's fine, that's all right. I didn't know it was AJX. It's like,
that guy. That's cool. That's actually awesome.
It's like, if you started with it was AJX, that'd be fine. It's like, no. And then my mom was like, but that's it's like, no, it's fine. They talk all the time and they do podcasts. He's fine. I was like, oh my god,
that's so sweet.
So funny. But yeah, that's like my kind of interaction of a whole sharing with someone, I guess, or like thing.
Oh, that's cool.
So, but they know that awesome. Like I can hold my own, so it's always good.
Yeah.
Anyways, force of it. Back to talking about you. I mean, we have been talking about you this entire time. We've just been sharing our stories and chats.
The VidCon experience. I had my first podcast last VidCon. My first ever podcast in person. That was surreal. Sorry, it's just something I thought I'd mention.
Oh no, go on. I guess we can talk about that. That's good. Yeah. Yeah, what was that?
I had never done a podcast. I think people have asked me for podcasts, but I just kind of felt weird doing it back then because I didn't feel like I had really established myself, or also wasn't comfortable at the time doing podcasts back then. But the time at Vidcon was I just gotten into Lifesteal, and I showed up at Vidcon, and then I got a DM from Parrot being like, "Yo, are you free on Friday to do my podcast at this hotel?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." That was my first time ever speaking to Parrot, ever, was in his podcast. And we talked for like an hour and a half right outside of like a woman's bathroom in the middle of a hotel hallway. It was so weird. The setup, he had like a professional setup outside of like the bathroom area. But it was really nice because it was really cool just talking about my experiences and like stories, because he asked more like film stuff because I was in film school and whatnot at the time, or I still am in film school, but that was really deep in it at the time. But it was cool. I think this is my second podcast, podcast. I've been in like other like interview things, but yeah, podcasts are cool.
Well, you was in the SMP interview as well, weren't you? Earlier.
I was in the, yeah. Would that be considered a podcast or just interview? Like,
well, no, but you said like podcast idea. You've been in interviews, so I said that's why I said you've been in that interview.
Yeah, I was in that. That was cool.
Wait, so Parrot had this entire setup, but neither of you showed your face. So it was just like audio recording, but this big setup for the recording.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Interesting.
For the audio. Yeah, we're both faceless creators just talking. It was nice. Like it wasn't like a decorative setup. It was just microphone setup, like really nice, high quality microphone setup. It was cool.
You said you're faceless.
I am faceless. Yes.
Who's that in your profile picture then?
That is not me. That was a hand-drawn art piece.
What? But that's not a real person?
Or not hand-drawn. That was a digitally drawn art piece by Whiskies.
That's
very insane artist. It's not a real person. That is an art piece. That was their interpretation of me, which is insane because my hair has looked like that at some point. Not my face, but my hair has looked exactly like that. I actually pulled up a side-by-side photo. It was crazy. They did a really good job. Yeah, I think a few creators actually thought that was my face too.
It looks a bit like Harry Styles.
Really?
Just a tiny bit. If you really look at it and like squint your eyes a little bit, I can see Harry Styles.
Oh, it's Whiskey. They do a lot of realistic type drawing. I haven't seen them in a while.
No, the drawing, though. I mean the picture, the person, they look like Harry Styles. I'm not
saying... yeah, no. No, that makes sense.
You just went, no, it's Whiskey. No, I know it's Whiskey you drew. I'm saying
I was just bringing that up. Yeah, but sorry. Yeah.
What about your name, Nick? I've been calling you Forsey this entire time. What's the deal with that? Why is your name Force of it?
Why is my name Forsey? Okay, this is a really funny story. I've explained this a lot, but it's really stupid if I'm being totally honest. But I think that is kind of fitting that it's stupid. So I way back when, because remember I told you I wasn't allowed to make content like a YouTube channel for a long time. But in 2015, 2016, I did make a YouTube channel called FryCook4. It's such a really dumb, stupid username. I think I used an automated username. I don't know. It was really bad. But when I made that username way back when, I told some friends at school about it, and I got picked on for it.
Biggest mistake you could have made.
Really big mistake. It got spread around the school. I was embarrassed about it, so I just stopped making videos on there. And then 2 years later, I wanted to come back to it, and I play my videos, and my voice was so high-pitched. I was like, I don't know if I want to use... Those old videos, by the way, are... they're not public right now, but they still exist on the One Civet channel. They're just all like privated, but I could bring them back one day. But that was my FryCook4 channel when I was younger, and I had this really high-pitched voice. It was very cringy, like very awkward. And I was like, if I'm gonna come back to YouTube, I can't use this. I didn't want to use that channel. I just felt very weird, and it didn't feel right. And I went to this summer camp one year. I go camping a lot, so I went to the summer camp, and this is one of the few times that I've actually stayed in a cabin. And in the cabin, bunk beds with rails, like the upper bunk have rails so you don't fall off typically, right? I don't know if you know. Well, I was on the upper bunk, and I have a terrible sleep schedule. I've always had a terrible sleep schedule. So I was up really late. It was like 2 a.m. I'm sitting up on the bunk bed. I'm looking around, just trying to think of things to do to get myself to go to sleep. And as I look over to the left, I see this exit sign in the corner of my eye. That's the only thing I can see. It's just the glow of an exit sign, right? And all I could make out was the top half of the exit sign. And for whatever dumb reason, at 2 a.m. in the middle of this camp, I'm looking over at that and I'm like, wow, that sounds like a really cool YouTube name. Civet. It sounds so cool. Like, I don't know why. My brain, I was like, that looks to me like a really cool name, right? Because I could only make out the top half because the bottom was getting covered by the bars of the bunk bed. And so I thought that was cool. And my lucky number was 4. And since my old username FryCook4 had the 4 in it, I just slapped the 4 on the front. And it was 4 Civet. And I genuinely don't know how to pronounce it. Everyone asks me, like, is it 4 Civet, 4 CVIT, 4 Civet, I've heard some weird pronunciations. But if I'm being honest, I don't care how people pronounce it. They can pronounce it whatever. As long as I can recognize that it's me, that's fine. But I think a very clean way for my name is just saying 4C. It's easy. So that's what I tell people if they want to. But yeah, that's how I got my name. I think it's kind of stupid and goofy, but people kind of like it. So I think it's worked pretty well so far. I've had some of the weirdest pronunciations of my name that I've heard. I've heard somebody call me Forkivit, which really confused me.
I feel like I've heard, I can't remember who it is, but I feel like I've heard she said that, yeah.
And at MCC Rising, when I was there, the pink team, Apo, Gracie, Akko, and Olive Sleepy, I don't know why, but they came up to me and they started calling me Civ. I don't know why they called me Civ, but they still do, some of them. I don't think Apo does, but I think Akko and Gracie still somewhat do. I know Gracie does. They just call me Civ, and then they were all calling me Civ over and over again. And then I remember Olive Sleepy walked up to me, goes, "Yo, what's up, 4?" I don't know why. I've never heard someone call me 4, and it was like such like a shock moment, but it was funny. It was very lighthearted. But yeah, my name's been around for a little while. It's cool.
So what you're saying is your name could have been
Forsik what?
If you saw the bottom half of the sign, it would be like Forsik.
Oh, I actually like to look at that and see Civet Call. That's what I see it as.
Civet Call.
Then like when I see the top half of the exit sign, I see Civet, but the bottom half looks like it's saying call. I don't know why.
Oh, I see it. I was just thinking C. What was I thinking it was? Oh no, yeah. Why did I think that was an X? The bottom half is literally an A. Yeah. So
it's pretty cool. It could be 4 call, but I just really liked Civet. It was just really nice. It's now anytime I see an exit sign, I always see my name. It's so funny.
Law. There you go. If you're listening to this before VidCon, please be sure to bring an exit sign. Every single person, if you're planning on meeting Force of it here, bring an exit sign and just pile them on top of Force.
Pile them on top? What are you gonna do? Suffocate me in exit signs? That's crazy.
If every single person you meet brings you an exit sign,
if I get one exit sign at VidCon, I'm gonna be very shocked.
Please, somebody listening to this, please. I think I might know someone who's going VidCon, so I might arrange it. It depends if they know you.
That would be. I don't think they. I don't know. We'll see.
Literally, okay, right. If you see Forsey, and I don't know how you're gonna recognize them, but if you recognize them, right, walk up to them, hand them the exit sign, and say "from orbits," and then just walk off. Don't say anything else. Just walk off. All right. if you got a week to buy an exit sign. You've got a week to buy an exit sign. If you really want to go to an extent, cut it in half. If you really want to go the extra mile.
Okay. Someone's gonna accidentally get injured cutting an exit sign. They're gonna steal an exit sign from somewhere, and we're gonna get in trouble for people stealing exit signs off of doors.
I mean, if you want to do that, you can, but I'm not endorsing it.
You
if you want to be funny for the bit, you can, but I'm not endorsing it. Again?
Saying you can is endorsing it. That is not. You're literally giving a double negative.
You can if you want to, but I'm not endorsing it. If you want to, do it, but I'm not. I don't agree with it. I don't think you should. But if you really want to, then it's. What about the skin? Why are you a blue slime?
Oh, I've always been a slime. I don't know. I can't really identify when it started. I just know that ever since I made my first skin, it's always been a blue slime. I just like the color blue. That's always been a big thing. And I saw probably a blue slime skin on the skin decks or whatever. I was like, that looks cool. And I picked it. And I've adapted it over time. I love designing skins or seeing skins that people have designed for me. It's really cool. I think here, let me see if I can find a photo while I'm going through this and talking about it. But my skin, so I originally had this really dark blue slime skin. Not like X Shatter, but like a dark blue outline. Here, I found it. I found a copy of it. It looked like this. Sorry, I don't know if this would work for the. It looked like this.
Well, I can see it. I can see it.
Yeah.
It looks like it's giving Game Boy vibes. I don't really know why.
It really looks like a 2010, 2012 Minecraft skin. Like, that's what it looks like.
Yeah,
I think the blue lines were lighter colored.
I know what it looks like.
What does it look like?
It looks like a Minecraft intro skin.
What?
Do you know there's like 2012 Minecraft intros that people use that you could go like
I know what you mean.
That website and download the Minecraft intros. That's what it looks like.
I think the dark blue edges were actually a bit lighter than that screenshot. I think I made them darker for a different skin, and I just don't have the old skin. But that was what it was. That was the basic standard outfit.
Like an event?
No, I'm not bringing that up. I think I have once. What's funny is, this is deep lore that not many people know. And I think it's kind of cool. There was this guy, so way back in 2011, I know I played Minecraft since like 2010, but back in 2011 or 2012, I don't remember when exactly, I had my own server that I was hosting, like a public server that had like a ton of people on it. It was really cool. Back then, there was this guy who was a really cool builder. His name was, I think it was Mark711 or something like that. And he would just build these really cool structures on there. And it's really funny. Or not really funny. It was really sad. It's funny because he was a blue slime. He was a lighter color blue slime. I don't know if I got inspiration from this or not, but he had a lighter color blue slime. And I think back in 2012, my server IP reset for some reason. And when the server IP reset, every person who was on the server I lost contact with because I did not have Skype or Discord. So all the people who were there, and I didn't have any like so big social media, so all those server members are gone, including Mark711. There's only a few people who I still know who were from that server, and they're people who invited me to their server before it reset. And that person is actually the person who got me into SMP. One of those people is one of the people who got me into SMP content creation today, which I can get to in a minute. But Mark711 had a blue slime skin, which looked very similar to what my adaptation was when I came back as 4C, which was this skin. This was my 4C skin that I came back with. This was,
cool.
I thought it was a very, I kept the standard like jacket zipper type thing, because I think this skin was originally just a hoodie, and I put the blue centerpiece on it and adapted it a little bit to how I wanted it to be. But that's how I got that lighter blue, like with that color. It's still the same Cinnamoroll style, but you can see like how it's a lot cleaner. And I had this skin throughout like when I joined Eclipse and joined a lot of SMPs that I was on, and it wasn't until I joined this recording group with Mid and Omen where we were doing a 100 days video. And when we did a 100 days video, we all made like custom dress up skins for it. And one of the skins that I when I do these one-off videos, sometimes I'll have like, sometimes people will make skins for me, which is really nice of them. But back then I didn't have that opportunity. So what I would do was I would literally go on NameMC. I'd search up like a skin style, and then I'd find it and just like adapt it to my character, like make it look nice and stuff. Because like I'm not claiming it's mine. It's just something for a one-off bit. I think it's cool. And when I did that back then, I looked online and I found this really cool adventurer skin, and I put it on. It was this, and I wore it for the 100 days video. And I looked at this skin, I was like, man, I really like it. Like those colors, they're really cool. Like the dark like teal blue goes so well with the aqua. Like it just worked. And so I had that skin for a while, and it wasn't until I think a Twitter user named Slingshot, but they might have changed their username as like Slingshot 1001, made an adaptation, like a custom made adaptation of this adventurer skin. And I took that, slightly adjusted the colors, and made it my own. And like I credit them still for it because they made the design, like the texture for it, but I just changed the coloring and got this, and that's me. And I think it's a good thing I changed it. Actually, it's such a good thing I changed it, because there is another content creator out there that I found out recently who is a green slime, who apparently had that old blue adventurer skin, but they were a green slime. I didn't know this.
That's crazy.
But apparently there's another one out there, and it was such an insane thing to find out. And they're a much bigger creator. I think they have like 400,000 subscribers. I have no idea. I had never heard of them before. So it's actually a good thing that I got this new adaptation, because one, it's a lot cleaner, but two, it's like I am my own thing, and I think that's cool. Yeah, the skin, that's my skin lore. I have a lot of other skin lore, but I think those four are like the standard. You can see how it developed over time. Yeah.
Well, Mike, if you're listening, it was Mike, yeah, the first person who had the skin, right?
Oh, wait, let me, you know something? I've never done this before.
Bro, it's clicking away, holy.
You can hear it? It's because my moved my mic, my bad. Oh my god.
No
No way.
You can hear it definitely, but what?
It was Mark711, right? I just looked up his name on NameMC. And look what I found.
You guys can't see this. I'm not showing you on the screen either. Oh my god.
It was that was Mark. He's not changed his skin. I don't even know if he still plays Minecraft.
Well, Mark711, if you're somehow listening to this podcast and you're somehow going VidCon, walk up the force of it with an exit sign that's cut in half. Sorry.
No.
I was waiting so long to do that bit. I was waiting so long for you.
My bad, I talked a bit too long.
No. The evolution of my skin is quite weird. It's so originally I wore like an Xbox 360 skin, which was like an egg skin, which I really loved.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got like the Planet logo, which was my original one on like I think it was on a Modern Warfare 3 like thingy background, like a Call of Duty background. And then I got like someone called Yellowfish to turn that into a skin. So they just like literally put a profile picture onto a skin, and it worked. And I was like, I don't like it being like no clothes and just a skin, so it felt weird. So
yeah, I
went onto I think it was like Nova skin or whatever, and I downloaded this like Creeper hoodie and I put it on. So then that was my skin then until then I moved to I was like kind of moving on from Bedrock Edition, and I was still Bedrock Edition, but I was like kind of growing a little bit, and I was like I need like an actual skin rather than this. So I commissioned someone for a profile picture, then commissioned someone for a skin to make like the profile picture, and then that's how I got my mask skin, and it was like with like a thing. And then when I moved to Java Edition, this is only fairly recently, I was going to make something cool for the podcast. I was going to work on a project back in Feb, and it just didn't happen. It fell through because the editor got busy and stuff, so we just didn't do it. However, I commissioned 4 different people for different skins for the sake of this. So I spent money for like no reason. Then I mean, I say no reason. I'm happy to support these skin artists, but the Masky Z made like a suit version of it, because that was the one I asked them for, and that's become my new main skin now, is me wearing like this like suit with like a blue tie and stuff. It's amazing. So
it's cool. I love seeing like how skins adapt over time, and I think I've gotten, because like as I said, back in the day I used to go on like NameMC, find a skin and adapt it for a video. Nowadays I try to just make it myself, like just straight up, because I don't know all the boundaries or like respect for skin artists. Like I didn't know that at the time. I feel like a lot of people don't realize that. I've never claimed like a certain skin I made fully myself, unless I did make it myself. But like I think lately I've had more respect for the people who make art, so I either commission them for skins or use skins that like they made and like acknowledge that they made it now. Like that's something I do a lot more now, but back then I didn't think about that, and I think it's cool seeing how my mindset has changed a lot with a lot of the things I do To
be fair, that's the same mistake I had with like taking the tracksuit, but now I know better than to like, I think to be fair, like I know it's like a weird take, but back then, and maybe this is just my brain being tricked because of the like how I've talked to so many different people, but back then I don't think like skin sitting was such a big thing. But then with like the introduction of like MCC, for example, and so many skin artists making skins and making theme bases and concepts and stuff like that, and with that becoming so popular for people to make skins for like free for these events and stuff, I think skin stilling has become like I think people are a lot more aware of it now, a lot more aware of like why it's wrong, as opposed to like 2-3 years ago, or maybe even longer than that, before like, I mean, to be fair, when I like in quotation marks stole the base skin, it was back in like 2019 2020, way before like MCC. So because of that, I think because of like the introduction of tournaments, that's why people are more aware of it, kind of thing.
Well, I think the way I kind of look at it as well now, back then I didn't think there was any harm for like a one-off video, and I still don't think it, as long as I credit that it wasn't me, I still don't think it like is too much of an issue, especially for like a joke or like a certain thing, because it's gonna be really hard to track down exactly who made what skin when it's like on these these websites unless you can like get the person who made the whatever. But I think something that made me aware of the skin adaptation thing is like back then I didn't see any harm of taking a skin, like an outfit, and adapting it to my character's outfit and just putting it on or like doing this thing, right? But as I said, remember how I found that other slime creator who was a green slime with the same adventurer outfit? Remember when I said that?
Yeah.
I didn't know that guy existed. In fact, the skin that I used was a human version of that adventurer skin with that blue outfit, right? That's how I adapted it. I took a human outfit and put it on my slime for a one-off thing. No biggie, right? But I've started thinking that guy who's had that adventurer skin has had it for a while, right? I wonder if someone else was a fan of that guy's adventurer skin, put it on their skin with their outfit, put it on NameMC as an adventurer skin, and then I saw that and put it on, and I had that outfit because I thought like it was a cool outfit for a one-off bit. But what if it originated from that creator, right? And that's like that accidental, like I didn't mean to do that, but like what if that happened? And that kind of worries me, because like what if I put my skin out on NameMC and some other up-and-coming creator puts it on, gets bigger than me, or becomes a more recognized creator, and now it's an awkward situation of we both have the same skin or same outfit. How did that happen? You know, like things can happen like that, and I think that's one of the issues with skin stealing in some way that I've been more aware of. I don't know if that is an issue, but like that's something that I've thought about over time. Like I'm happy that I have the skin that I have now because it was custom made by somebody, which is really cool. But it still has that remnants of what it was before. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I get that. I think I'm quite like lucky in a sense of I don't think my skin could ever be stolen. And like if anyone takes the suit skin, I mean, don't do it. I mean, I'd rather not people take this like the little suit, but like it's not really a suit. It's more like a shirt and tie and then trousers. But point is just I guess just don't do it. But I mean, I will. I mean, I paid for it, so.
And there's also all like the dream skins and ClownPierce skins and techno skins that you see everywhere.
Good for branding, really, isn't it? That's why.
It's good and not, but because if they don't know who you are, they'll just see a cool skin. It's like it's good for branding if you get big enough.
That's why you gotta get big enough.
I don't know. We'll see about that one. I don't know if my skin's that recognizable right now.
Before we carry on, I guess before we talk about Minecraft tournaments and stuff, because we kind of touched on it there when I was talking about the skins. Let's talk about your what got you into YouTube. I know you said you were making videos and stuff like that, but like your oldest video was 4 years ago. You started with Minecraft content, unless you have deleted content. You did a bit of Faz, you did a bit of like all this kind of jazz. So what was your official start to YouTube?
God, this is a very funny question, especially you saying my first video being a Minecraft video. It is true. My first video is a Minecraft video, but not on the 4C channel, which is really funny to me. So I don't remember exactly when I started playing Minecraft, but when I got it, I think it was like one of my friends had the game, and they told me about it, and I mentioned it to my parents, and they got it for me, and I would play with my family and made servers and whatnot. What got me into Minecraft YouTube were the original Minecraft creators. I used to be a big fan of Stampy, DanTDM, a lot of the Team Crafted people way back when. Now, from that, like I would watch them a bunch, and I would record my own videos, like my own things, because I was inspired by it at the time. Now, as I said, I wasn't allowed to post them back then, but I recorded my own videos because I thought they were funny and they were cool. I think from the like Stampy, DanTDM, like Team Crafted, like Sky Does Minecraft people, I kind of like moved around from different creators. I went from them to watching like Sunday. I watched his Sky Factory and like really invested in that, and I was such a big fan of Sunday. And then through Sunday, I saw Captain Sparkles and watched Captain Sparkles content. And there's just, it kind of like moved throughout. And I think when Minecraft hit that low period, I remember I was watching, like, I stopped playing Minecraft. Well, I didn't stop, but I didn't play it as much because like back in 2018, I think everybody just kind of felt very demotivated with the game, and there were a lot of other things at the time. And also Minecraft was seen as kind of like cringe, I guess, like in school. Remember I had that YouTube channel that I was made fun of. I stopped playing Minecraft a lot around that time, right? Now I played some other games. I played different games that came up at the time. I don't remember all of them. There was Fall Guys and Among Us, like also in that time frame, like moving forward. Wait, what?
We did Phasmophobia as well.
Phasmophobia, I love Phasmophobia. I did play Fortnite. I hated it. I'm not a fan. I'm not happy with that time frame, but I did play that back then, which is really, really funny. I'll get to that in a moment. But I was just not interested in Minecraft. The thing that brought me back was Hermitcraft, because around the time I was watching like Sunday, Captain Sparkles, I was also watching Grian and Mumbo Jumbo. And when Grian got into Hermitcraft, actually, when I was watching Mumbo Jumbo's Hermitcraft series around the time Minecraft was at a low point. Even though I was playing other games, I still watched Mumbo, which was cool. And when Grian joined Hermitcraft, I think that was kind of a cool moment for me personally, because I was watching different creators play, and it was like Minecraft was seen as like cringe or awkward, but I was seeing these much older creators creating really cool, massive structures and stories and things that I didn't know could be possible. And it was really inspiring because they were just having fun. They didn't care what anyone else said or what was going on, and it wasn't cringy, like watching those videos. I think it was like the standard Minecraft video that was at that time felt cringy, but Hermitcraft felt real, and that felt cool. And that's what brought me back into Minecraft, wanting to do my own channel and doing my own thing. Now, I will admit, when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do on my channel, I made a video in a bunch of different games. I think some of them are still up, like the Fall Guys video and the Phasmophobia video, which are not great videos, but they're still there. But it is really funny because I think my first video that I had posted on this channel, I think it was a Fortnite video, which is really, really awkward, because the reason I privated that video was because back in Lifesteal, one of the Lifesteal application periods, when they were like reviewing channels, I think they saw my Fortnite video, and that is the most awkward thing to realize during applications. There's like 20 of these big creators you look up to, all watching your old like 5-year-old Fortnite video. It's like really awkward. I was not proud of that, so I immediately privated it when I found out that happened. But yeah, Minecraft has always been a game that I've really enjoyed, like always. I mean, there's low points where I felt awkward making videos on it, but I've always played it. I think if you go back, I think Minecraft doesn't have a record of when you first started playing, or at least I don't know where to find it. But if you go on Hypixel, you can see that I first joined Hypixel back in 2012 or 2013, whenever it came out, the year it came out, which is so weird. Like, that's been like 11 to 12 years now, which is, yeah, that's weird to think about, but it's kind of cool. Like, I feel like I've been around for a while, but I haven't really been able to like, or I haven't really started posting videos until around 2021. But yeah, we're getting into the Minecraft space.
I have Hypixel YouTube rank.
You have Hypixel YouTube rank?
Yeah, on the InsideMC channel I have like 37,000 subscribers.
I do not have Hypixel YouTube rank.
Get good.
I have 30k. I just don't have YouTube rank. I just haven't applied for it. I don't know. Kind of funny though.
The more I look at it, the more I realize I was actually kind of doing pretty good on the InsideMC channel, but I feel like I'm doing better on InsideMC. And I value connections more than numbers, and InsideMC wouldn't have got me these kind of connections, so I'll take it. Like, I wouldn't be sitting here talking with you today if it was InsideMC, you know?
I don't know. I think it depends on what you were asking, like what you wanted to do. I feel like there's creators all the time, or people all the time, who send messages where they're just like, "Hi," or "Do you want to do this video?" or "Do you want to do a video at some point?" Right? Or like things. People who I don't know. And when people send those messages, like I used to respond a lot more with messages, but I've gotten a lot. It's kind of awkward sometimes messaging people, because sometimes people can be very mean or very weird on the internet. And so I've done it a lot less. But if someone comes to me with an idea and they're like, "Hey, would you want to, or do you want to hang out sometime?" I don't know who you are. Also, I wouldn't know what we'd be doing. Like, I wouldn't respond to it, right? But when people come and say, "Hey, I have this podcast that I want to do. It's kind of cool. Would you want to be on it?" I may not immediately be like, "Oh yeah, I'll do it," because I still don't know who that person is. But if I've heard of you, or I've seen in like a friend, or like someone else I know knows you, there's a chance it'll happen, I guess, if that makes sense. So like, you don't know, if you like with the Inside Orbits channel, you might have, like, if you talking with more people and network with people, you get opportunities that you don't expect, I guess. It's just interacting. I mean, not networking. Networking sounds so weird. It sounds so bad, but you get what I mean. Like just having conversations and making friends.
I mean, I made Bedrock content. I wasn't even really Java crazy. When I moved over to Java, I was doing MCC Island content. Trust me when I say, and this isn't even on you, this is just on me, I would have never got like you in a video. I mean,
saw your MCC Rising app.
Yeah, oh god, don't. Which one?
I both. I saw both of them.
Oh god.
So I knew who you were to some extent, but I don't know if I would have known you as well if it wasn't for the podcast. That is fair.
Well, yeah, the first MCC Rising one was actually a pretty good application. I'm surprised we didn't get him from that. Like I know it's kind of ego, but to be fair, based on how the first MCC Rising went with who they did accept, I mean, I can see why. MCC Rising 2, that was my idea. I just thought, you know what? Let's just try something that no one else is going to do and make a bloody PowerPoint. Didn't work. But I'd be lying if I said I wasn't already prepping an MCC Rising 3 application. Not making it and stuff, but I've built a team. I have a team. I have a vision and I have an idea. Hopefully it's this year.
Exciting.
If it's not, I've always predicted it correctly, right? I somehow predicted the first one. By like I made like a concept team. I was like, oh, imagine this team in MCC. Then I announced MCC Rising literally a week later, and then I said all last year MCC Rising 2 is coming back. It's gonna happen this year. And everyone's like, no. I said it's gonna happen, and it happened. Part of me wants to say it's next year, but something's telling me it's gonna happen again this year, just because of how well the last one went with like new connections and like, I mean, for instance, Avondale, like the amount they react to people and stuff, like they love the outcome of MCC Rising. I mean, they react to with Sandwich Lord, they react to with like, oh, all these other creators, like they have so many mutual friends and Twitter followers and stuff, and it's because like, and that would have never happened without MCC Rising 2. So that part of me really thinks there's gonna be a third one this year, but we shall see, right?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. MCC Rising, I feel like you'll get into MCC Rising in a minute. Do you want me to like talk?
We might as well. So I was going to talk about SMPs, but we might as well keep on the tournament topic and then come back to SMPs afterwards, right? It's here, yeah, right here. So, and I have time stamps, so it's fine.
MCC Rising is one of the it was one of the biggest eye-opening experiences for me, like with all the like getting into the communities and everything. Like all of us from MCC Rising still talk, well, to some extent. Some people are very busy, so they're not as free, but like they kept the Discord that we joined, the MCC Rising Discord, open, so like we still talk and all the time in there with each other, like plan things, interact with each other, and all of us to some extent still interact a lot. I talk with Nominal, Lagundo, and Apo quite a bit, when I wouldn't have had that conversation with any of them if it wasn't for MCC Rising. And obviously I still talk to my teammates and whatnot. I think the only people who I don't talk to as much is like some of the hardcore players and some of the blue team, some of the pink team, and then like the Yogscast. But if I talk to them, like we still have a conversation. We just don't talk much because they're busy. They're like one of the busiest people. But like the Yogscast have invited us to like a bingo night a couple of times, which is cool. Like I wouldn't have had that if it wasn't for MCC Rising, and it's one of the coolest, or one of the biggest experiences I think I've had as a content creator. It's really cool.
I said this on a previous podcast, so like I know I wasn't in it, and like I know I wasn't like a part of it, but I am so grateful, and it sounds so weird to say until I fully explain it. I am so grateful for MCC Rising 2. I mean, let me load up the channel quickly. Like the InsideMC channel. But the InsideMC, right? So because of MCC Rising 2, I mean, I feel like there's a big chain, but I guess direct people involved in it. I've had, just want to make sure I don't scroll past anyone here. Oh god, sorry, I'm going to take a second here to actually. I've had Wadebox on, who won it, of course, the Lime Llamas, being you guys in the final. Sorry.
Okay, you didn't have to rub it in like that. That's
Harrington,
okay.
who came on from a direct like thing of MCC Rising 2, because I bought Benish on the podcast prior. I bought Lucky on the podcast to talk about MCC Rising. I bought Birth on because I liked the MCC Rising application. Noxai came on the podcast, not because of the directors of MCCR2, but I think the part of it boosted it. But I think that was also because of the MCC Twitch Rivals podcast that we did with ClownPierce, which is kind of direct from that.
That is really cool.
MCC 2 got me really involved. Lagundo came on. Obviously I said Benish came on. Generous came on, who I knew from Bedrock days anyways, but they got into MCC Rising. They were like the sub-in team. Yeah, like I mean, like a good amount of people have come on the podcast, which is
that is really cool.
And now you, I mean, I don't think like you're a full-on direct thing of MCC Rising 2, but the fact that I didn't even know you guys placed first as a team, and then I found out like the other day while doing research, I was like, wait,
you didn't know that?
No, so that links back. Remember in the intro when I said I knew you, but I didn't know you. Sorry.
That's really funny. You didn't realize it was us.
So to clear up what I mentioned earlier, I watched your application. I loved it, but I remember explicitly saying, "Is this gonna get in? It's more a movie than it is like an application," which wasn't in a bad way. But I was like, they've just made like a really sick movie. I was like, this is amazing, but like, I wonder what like Nox you're looking for. Like, are they gonna look at this and be like, "Damn, this is a good application"? Because it doesn't really.
You just reminded me something really important that I'll explain in a second.
And then I remember watching your application. I was like, oh my god, like this is one of my favorite ones. I love this. So like, I love this as a video. And I remember, I think I was part of like, I don't know how many people made this statement. I was like, the thing about MCC Rising is it should teach you to like, some people actually have the skill set to make like Laura movies. Like I was in like directing your team there because of the amazing like application video. When you got in and won it, I remember I watched the finale because I was watching like the Lime Llama's POV, and I really wanted them to make the finale. And I remember, I think it was like I think it's like a stat of, I think it's twice. Was it not Lime Llamas? I don't think JoJo Solos was on the Lime Llamas team. Cyan, I think, because you was
Cyan has lost
team.
Both Rising.
They won. They came first in both Risings and lost both. I was like, is this team really going to keep that alive? And then you did. I was like, oh my god. But like, I didn't know any of you 4 people. I loved your application, but I knew none of you until you started interacting in the community and stuff. And like, you was in like talking to Soundjourn and stuff, and I was talking to like other people. And then like someone turned around to me, it's like, you do know like 4C was in MCC Rising, right? And I was like, what? I was like, yeah, like they came first as a team. I was like, that was force of it? What? I knew you without knowing you. There you go.
Fun fact with our team. Originally, in MCC Rising 1, I wanted to apply. And at that time frame, I was in a small recording group with Mid and Omen. It was like the 3 of us doing a lot of stuff. And Mid had just gotten into Lifesteal. And I was out of the house when they announced MCC Rising was happening. And I came home and I'm like, all right, guys, like, do you want to, or I was out of the house and I saw the announcement. I texted, I was like, hey, you guys want to like form a team, like get together? And Mid, since she was in Lifesteal, joined up with the Lifestealers already. So she told us, she was like, sorry, I already like teamed up with Lifestealers, so I'm not free to do that. I was like, oh, okay, it's fine. And so me and Omen tried to make a team, and it didn't really work out. We had a lot of different complications and whatnot, and also was a really small content creator. I had not that many good videos. I had like maybe 1,000 subscribers. I rarely ever streamed. Omen went off to join another team, and there was a lot of stuff that happened. But because of that situation, that's actually what made me push to want to stream more. So in that, like after the MCC Rising applications in the first time, I actually spent a full week straight streaming, and I got affiliate, which was really cool. That was my push for affiliate. And then I did YouTube and did really well on YouTube and whatnot. But what's funny, I never applied for MCC Rising Season 1. I never did. But when Season 2 came around, my friend Cyan reached out to me, Mid, and Ulrich asking if we wanted to team for the next MCC Rising. Predict like it's gonna happen, we should all team up. And when they announced the date that MCC Rising was happening, Cyan couldn't make it. Cyan couldn't make the date. So it was me, Mid, and Ulrich who needed another teammate. And I had gotten a message from Johor saying that since he hadn't posted a video in like over a year, some friends didn't think that he would be able to make it into MCC Rising, and so he didn't have a team. I was like, I love Johor. He's got a pretty cool vibe. Like he's very his vibe is very contrasty to like a lot of our team. So I asked if we could invite him in, and we were debating between 2 people, and eventually we got Johor in our team. So we had our team of 4, and it's so funny because we like did some research for our application. They gave us like a 3-day window for applications, and I know the biggest thing for MCC Rising is they look for chemistry, team chemistry, and people interacting with each other, right? Just in a good like mesh with people, and that's what they look for. But me and Johor were talking, and we were like, wait a minute, they're looking for mesh, and that's what worked last year, right? People just being silly, like Booster's video is really big right now, their application, right? That is what they're looking for, but this year they only gave us 3 days. The problem with that is when they give such a small amount of time, they aren't going to see a lot of highly edited videos. Like, that's just not going to happen. It's just going to be all the same thing. So me and Johor wanted to do a gamble of what if, or like our whole team wanted to gamble, what if we try, because we do like to do highly edited things, what if we make something really highly edited, not for the sake of high edited gonna get in, but to make us stand out, something that's different, because if they're gonna sit through thousands of applications, this is something that will catch their eye. That was our gamble that we wanted to do. And me personally, this is something that I wanted to add. I hate applications, not like totally hate, but I hate applications when people are just like, hi, my name is this, I do this, this is what I can do. Like, that's what people do in applications all the time, right? Just stating their skills because that's what you do in an application. But it feels like everybody does that. It's the same thing over and over again. When I applied to Lifesteal, I saw that a lot and I hated it. So what I did, I always like to tell people what I do without telling them what I do. I like to showcase it. I feel like showcasing what you do is a lot cooler and people can follow along a lot better. Like, it feels more natural than just like cutting and be like, hi, I am the PvPer, right? So when we made the application, we had 3 days. We split up into teams because Mid and Ulrich weren't free for the first like 2 days of our working. So I sat down with Jahorse, and Jahorse came up with the idea, I think, of the of the Dungeons and Dragons type vibe, and me and him, I sat down and wrote the script of like what we wanted to say, how we wanted to do it, like natural conversations, how everyone would interact. And the next day, me, Jahorse, and 2 of my friends who got on and recorded all the replay shots all in 1 day. And then the next day, Ulrich and Mid came back and we handed them all of the footage, and Ulrich did like all the visual color grading and piecing them together. Mid helped out with music and sound effects, and we all added our voice lines, and it came together, and we were really proud of it because like we put in some effort for that. I commissioned an artist to make like the thumbnail and everything for it, and I didn't know if it would get accepted because it was a gamble. It always feels like a gamble. But here's a little secret, insider information. All right, I've showed for the podcast, I've shown some people this, so it's not like totally private, but it's something that I don't want to go around sharing like super publicly, but I also wasn't told to keep it a secret, so I don't think it's a big deal. But when we joined, right, when we got in, we got to talk with like all the Nox crew people and have conversations, but I got a message from Avondale in our group chat, and it was one of the most like ego boosting but really exciting messages. I got a message from Avondale, which I love Avondale, he's so sweet. Avondale sent a message saying, yo, I have to tell you guys, by the way, probably totally unprofessional of me to say, but your video got the highest score out of all of the ones we saw. Obviously, a lot goes into picking teams, and we have a certain balance we're looking for, but you guys were the easiest choice on the list. So there you go, a nice little confidence boost, which was an insane confidence boost. Like that was crazy. Some of the other people know this, but that is really cool to look at and get that message. And I think it's also goes to show, now I hope people don't go and copy our thing exactly the same format because that's stupid, but it's good to show like people being creative and making something different, like something that stands out is way better than anything else. You still need chemistry, like we had our chemistry in it, but making something that is different that people don't expect, that showcases your skills in a way, I think it worked. And I think we had it was really cool, the whole experience. But yeah, I wanted to share that little piece for the podcast because I thought that was a good story to add on. You probably didn't know that one.
I did not know. It's funny how that completely contradicts my point as well when I said about how and I think that you saying that proves so much how like, and Jokana, if you're listening to me, you are listening to this, turn that story if you can into a short, please, because it's just crazy how I said about, oh, you know, I looked and I was like, oh, it's not really an application video, like would it do well, blah blah blah, and a lot of people were like kind of trying to get into Nox Crew's mind and like understand, and I guess I didn't try to do that. I just made a PowerPoint because I thought it'd be funny and I thought it'd be standout original. It clearly was actually really crap looking back on it. I mean, it's like a funny idea, but like let's be real, it's a bit shit. But it's just like, it just goes to show that you can't really look into their minds and understand what they're saying. So like now, especially when you said about the whole like not how you're hoping that people don't go and just copy and like redo what you did.
Yeah.
I think if anyone was to try and do that, like if they could execute a really, really good one, of course, sure. But like you can't, like so many people made these little like cinematic animation videos or like these little story videos, right? But your one was like the highest score and your one got in. So you can't actually dwell into their minds. You really can't figure out what they're thinking or predict what like works best. And I think that was a great story to show that.
I think it is a really good way to, like, you just need to. And another thing also to point out, going back, like, to add on to that story, is remember when I said back in the first MCC Rising, where it went off to go join the Lifesteal team, and Omen went to go with another group of people to make a team. I love both of them. They're both awesome creators. Omen isn't creating anymore, but they're both awesome people. But everyone also in this situation are like, oh, there's a certain number that needs to be able to get in, right? People who have a certain subscriber count, which just isn't true.
Oh, I mean,
and I think this Rising really showcased that, especially like going off that. Remember Jahorse, he hadn't uploaded a year and he wasn't able to join the team that he was going to be with, and he got in. Like, it's awesome. It's such a cool thing to like visualize. It's really, they were just wanted people with good vibes no matter what, and it was really awesome to see how that went down.
Yeah, so when with the whole like planning thing, I've reached out to people, and the good thing about it is, so the first year we did the MCC Rising application, we was pretty good chemistry, but it was also kind of just like me and Pateo had quite good chemistry, and Pateo had good chemistry with them, but it wasn't like a full link. In the second year that I did it, me and Sinjin had pretty good chemistry, but they didn't really make much content. Me and Rory had pretty good chemistry, but we didn't talk loads. And then me and Mooney kind of knew each other, but Mooney was more into Rory, so it's like kind of weak links. However, this time round, right, all I'll say for the listener here, for the MCC Rising application, we haven't fully planned what like application we're going to do, but when we do apply, number one, to clear the air, AJ sadly isn't going to be part of the team. I really wanted him, but the strikers claimed him, so you know, it is what it is, that's fine. No. Secondly, the application video will be coming out on the InsideMC channel, so take that as you will. It's not going to come out on the Inside Orbits channel, it's not going to come out on anyone else's channel, it's coming out on the InsideMC podcast channel, so take that as you will. As to who you think is going to be a part of the team. So yeah, hopefully it happens this year. I'm ready. And the thing is, right, like I think if I got into MCC Rising, I'd capitalize on it so much. Like I'd reach out to people and I'd do like my little interviews and like pre-interview of like the MCC Rising. But I'd make so much content in such a little time frame about it. Like I've already got it planned out. Like not doing it for like benefit because I'd love to. I just think it'd be like just cool to do like little interviews about it. And even if I don't get in, if I can reach out to applicants and they're interested in it, I can like bring them on the podcast and be like, yo, let's do this video. And yeah,
no, I think that would be awesome. I'm looking forward to see who gets into the next Rising, because I can't apply, I'm pretty sure. So
well, you can apply, but there's like you have a significantly low chance of getting in.
Yeah, there's no way I'm getting in again. I just don't see that happening. I mean, I feel like now the only thing that I could really look for, like MCC wise, is like the main event stuff, but I don't see that happening anytime soon until I start posting more videos again. Maybe one day. It would be cool. I would love to come back at some point. I just don't know if it is a possibility or not. We'll see. I love all the people with Nox Crew and all the different creators who get in. I love, dude, every time an MCC Rising person or has gotten into a main thing, or like when Sandwich got into Rivals, or Apo and Akko getting into the Pride event, dude, we went crazy in the Discord. It was so awesome, dude. It's so cool to see more people getting more, like, growing in the community. It's so cool.
You came third individual that event, so you absolutely cooked, and your team were favorites to win, which I mean kind of showed how you placed first as a team, and you absolutely dominated an ace race. Absolute movement, Andy.
Well, I did not win ace race,
but you dominated. It doesn't matter. Okay, you can dominate without winning. I mean, as you've shown in the actual MCC Rising, you dominated and you still lost. So you know, sorry.
It's actually funny. I'm actually working on an MCC Rising video right now, which is really cool.
This late? It's been 10 months. It's been 10 months in the application.
You're saying that, and I haven't posted a video in a while. But yeah, it's been a hot minute. I've actually finished a video recently, 2 videos actually, and I've been working on an MCC Rising video. I'm cooking. I have plans. I just I don't want to share too much about it. It's more there'll hopefully a lot of 4C content soon. We'll see. But with the MCC Rising stuff, I've been going through it. It's so funny. I think the thing we cooked the most with weirdly was build mart, because my entire team is builders except for Jahorse, who was our person who like ran around and like he was our floater. But we popped off as a team in build mart. Ace race, I'm traumatized. I'm actually traumatized. I was in like first place for like more than half of the entire, like I was way in the front ahead of everybody in ace race, and it wasn't until like the last second I trip up so bad and Nominal jumps over my head and takes the victory. And you don't understand why that was such a big deal. That's something I want to showcase in my video. But me and Nominal had a rivalry for the entirety of MCC Rising. I can explain a little bit, but I'll try not to go into too much detail. When MCC Rising first started, we first got invited and got to meet all the teams, we all hopped on MCC Island and just kind of played around. And when we were playing around, we played Parkour Warrior. And I hadn't really played Parkour Warrior that much at the time. I loved parkour. And so when we're all playing Parkour Warrior, I got my first ever all first place run in that Parkour Warrior match. And Nominal got an all second place run. And Nominal, I kid you not, looked me in the eyes. I don't remember his exact words, but he looked me in the eyes and he was like, "You are my rival. I'm going to destroy you." Like, that's what he said. And we go into the practice server, and that was showcased because we played the ace race practice thing. And I remember I walk over and I saw Nominal's name was on the board, and I went and I played, and I got 1 step above him on the leaderboard. And then the next morning I wake up and he was 1 step above me. And we went back and forth for like a full week or 2 until like our hands were physically hurting. And Nominal looked at me and he was like, "Okay, you know what? You win this, but I'll see you in the event." And we go into the event, and you can visually see in the games, we were neck and neck every single game. We had like similar scoring, similar play styles. Every single game, either we won or they won in a certain situation. And it was so it was fun. Like, it was awesome. It was so like infuriating in ace race when when it was him who jumped over my head, and it was like, oh, I was so close. And then going into dodgeball, I was so happy that it was their team against us, because we already got first place. That was cool. But the fact that they were the ones to win it felt so like good to me. It was so great, because if I wanted anyone else to win it, it would be them. And someone on the Reddit pointed out how symbolic it was that the first kill was me killing Nominal and the final kill was him killing me.
Oh my god, this is like a fucking this is like a what's that one? It's like a Wattpad. This is a Wattpad story.
No, it's such a good story.
Such a Wattpad story. Oh my god.
It was so good. That's why I want to make a video on it, because it's so perfect. That rivalry. I don't think that many people realize that happened. No, and that's something that I wanna showcase. It was cool. But the ace race was a big hit for me, like personally. But we were so happy after like talking. We all took a group screenshot. It was awesome. And I love Nominal. We still talk a lot, but it's it's so goofy that happened.
Giving me chills. It's giving me chills.
You give me chills?
Yeah, Aaron, it's like great. I don't know. I love stuff like this, and that's why I said like I'm hoping it comes back again this year, because it's just, and MCC Rising was such a good like. I like good. The first time it happened was great. Don't get me wrong, but just something about MCC Rising 2, it felt so much better. It felt so different. I guess it's because it was more like less established creators, and there's nothing wrong about it being like more established creators, because that whole argument of, oh, these people have so many subs, why would they be in, like really annoyed me. I hated that argument. So I don't agree with it, but I just think like I to be fair, I was also more involved in the space 10 months ago because of the podcast, and I'd moved to Java Edition as opposed to 2 years ago, which like, I mean, I still look back on it, I'm like, wait, you were in the first MCC Rising? What? Not you. Yeah. But like some people, I'm just like, huh? So, you know.
Yeah, no, it's really cool to look back on those things. I have friends from my film class. Not many of them, I didn't tell them I had a channel for like a solid year or 2, but when I told them, it was around the time of MCC Rising, and I was like, oh yeah, I just played an MCC the other day, and they were like, what? It was such like a funny thing, because only one of them knew what it meant, and they were like freaking out about it. It was really cool. I think the weirdest thing, I have this weird motto, not motto, but this thing that I kind of live by to some extent, where everything kind of happens for a reason, and it's not totally real, like that mindset of like, well, it might be, I don't know, but it's something that I think about. But the reason I think about it, because it's a very optimistic outlook of like, whatever happens, whether it's good or bad, it happened. And I think what's cool is if like certain things wouldn't have happened if said thing didn't happen, like whether it's bad or good, like you learn from it and you grow from it. And so I live by the idea of everything happens for a reason, because that thing might help me later down in life. And what's funny is I've looked back on experiences similar to like MCC Rising or different things, and I've had that mindset. And it's funny, when I came back from Vidcon last year, I had a very bad demotivation to make videos, and I still have that. I still like love storytelling, but just editing is it's a struggle for me. And because it was a struggle for me coming back from VidCon, what I wanted to do was, I was like, okay, I want to focus on streaming, because I hadn't really delved into that. And so coming back from VidCon, I streamed a lot, more than I ever had before. I started like setting up a schedule where I'd stream like 3 to 4 times a week. I built a mod team where I built up things. And as I started slowly building, you see on my channel, I was averaging 10 viewers, 20 viewers, 30 viewers, 40 viewers. And it was all within a month. And then MCC Rising, I got into MCC Rising. And it was like, oh my God, literally that lined up perfectly for that thing, because I also planned a subathon. So it was like all these things leading up to it, and then boom, I'm in MCC Rising, and I think I had the highest viewership out of any of the people who were there. And I think that wouldn't have happened if I didn't do that build up of stream, because I wouldn't have had much of a stream audience, I guess, or like showcase. I mean, it might have happened, I don't know, but I like seeing that. I think I had like 1,800 live viewers at one point in the actual thing. Yeah. And coming from somebody who averaged like 10 to 20 just a month prior, that was like surreal, like crazy. That will never happen again. I cannot see a mind. I mean, maybe, but I just don't see that happening ever again. That was a big thing for me. And afterwards, since then, I've averaged anywhere from like 50, 70 to 100. Obviously not up in the 1,000, but it's consistent, which is awesome. It's been cool. And if I stream on Lifesteal, it's like 200 or sometimes, which is insane. But yeah,
I guess that's like what I meant with the whole like once I make videos and stuff, like you truly can, like I mean I said this before, if you're trying to get into MCC Rising just for the basis of, oh my god, this is going to grow my content creation career, like that just should not be the goal. It should be the goal of, oh my god, this is such a cool opportunity, I want to capitalize on it. And that's exactly what you did. You saw it as like, oh my god, this amazing opportunity, and you capitalized on it because you kept making content about it. And I think that's what's like, well, like for instance, Weightbox is a good example for me. Is this dude capitalized on me, like really got his name out there amongst creators because he was just constantly making content surrounding MCC Rising. I mean, he did that big parkour stream, he did this big like underdog of how, and then it like showed in the event as well. And it's like, I think that's like little things like that is why is like the part of, oh my god, this is such a cool opportunity, now it's time to capitalize. And I think creators just don't look at it in a proper mindset sometimes, and that's why I think it showed in some people's applications. And this is a really weird hot take. I think a lot of people tried too hard in their applications.
I think a lot of people tried too hard or tried too little.
There was one point was
huh?
What would you say the PowerPoint was?
Hey, I don't know why I did not hear. Can you say that again?
What would you say the PowerPoint was?
The PowerPoint?
Yeah, my one.
Oh, I don't know. I can't remember. I don't remember all the I know I watched your application, but I don't remember it that well.
What was you gonna say? I think you was gonna say one about one.
One person who I really wanted to get in, who I thought was gonna get in, was Red's team. But I felt like they saw Boostfer's application, like that old one, and they tried too little with it. I don't know. I'd have to talk with them again, but I felt like they could have done something so much cooler. Knowing them, but they thought that the chemistry of just playing Minecraft together would be the move to getting in, which wasn't the case. I mean, maybe it was, but it just didn't stand out.
Yeah, that's what you're
I actually genuinely thought he got in, because when we got in, as our teams like slowly started entering the Discord, they had all the Discords hidden, like all the channels, but they forgot to hide one channel. So they accidentally leaked all the teams to us like the day we joined, and the last team to join was the Red team, because they were like Australian time zone, but we didn't know that. And so the fact that Red team did join, and when they found out the channel was like open, they hid it. So we saw every team leaked except for the Red team, so we didn't even know who the red team was. And I thought for sure it was Red's team, but it wasn't, which was really sad, but it just happened. I'm not upset that the red team that got in. I loved meeting Pyro, Milkberry, and like all of them. But and Linku, who all was on red team? It was Pyro, Milkberry, Linku, and my brain, I can't remember the last person for some reason.
I can't even know. I won't even be able to. I have to maybe.
I don't even remember.
Pyro, Sky.
Oh, Cena. Yeah, no, all four of them are so awesome, and I'm happy. I'm happy I was able to meet more people through that experience rather than people that I already knew. But I am still sad that I didn't get to, it's like I don't know, it's a sad and happy experience.
Kind of link to what I said earlier. So in that same SMP video that you were in, I had Pyro and Milkberry. I didn't know either of them. I knew before this podcast, but up until that point, I didn't know either of them were in MCC Rising 2. Nice. And Cine, I invited is in something which they haven't actually been played in, so I don't leak anything. But they're in something, and it's not to do with the podcast for listeners here, so don't.
Interesting.
You should know if you look, but yeah.
I think I know what you mean.
Yeah, but they haven't played, so and then and it was like someone else's suggestion, and I didn't actually know until after they joined that they were in MCC Rising 2 either. So like it's just constant, like I interact with these creators and then it's like, wait, you were really what? So it's kind of, it's just funny to me, really. Yeah, no, there's people. It's cool, the small world of the content. I actually had been in 2 events with Lagundo, but I didn't know it was Lagundo. And then I met Lagundo during MCC Rising, and I was like, wait, you were in that? Oh, that's where I met you from. I definitely think it's more, the community has become more connected because of MCC Rising 2. I mean, just people like, it was just full of people who were willing to make connections, and as you're proving right now by coming on the podcast. Exactly. You just mentioned talking to people. You mentioned how about Lifesteal SMP, about how like just before that what is the name? Lost my head here. That Mid Mystic got into Lifesteal SMP. You're also a part of Lifesteal SMP. Did you know that? I didn't know that. I didn't know I was in Lifesteal. It's kind of crazy. You actually just got banned from Lifesteal for losing your last live to Rochambeau Games and ClownPierce. I did, but the season ended. But you weren't in Lifesteals because you died. So I did die. I did die off of Lifesteal. I made it the whole season without dying until the end. Cool. Without dying, without getting banned. Sorry, I should say. Exactly. What? Yeah. Let's talk about SMPs. Okay. So how'd you get into Lifesteal? Oh, so this is a funny story, and it might be a little long. I'll try to make it shorter for you and for the viewers. Lifesteal. So I've been considered for a long time on Lifesteal. Actually, it was back. I joined Eclipse back in 2021, way back when, where I met all of my close friends. And remember, I mentioned I had this recording group with Mid and Omen. Mid had gotten into Lifesteal, and that was really cool. I didn't know what Lifesteal was, but that was when I first heard of it. And Mid was very focused with Lifesteal, like interacting and doing a lot more with Lifesteal at the time. And me and Omen kind of ended up going off and doing other different content things. And when that happened, Mid wanted to kind of bring us with her to servers, not Lifesteal because it was such a bigger jump. Like, she was so much of a bigger content creator than us, but she wanted us to like stick around in the SMP community, and I was trying to get us to apply to other servers. So I think I applied to like Earthbound, a bunch of different things. I think I only got into like one of them, and nothing really came of it. But what ended up happening was Lifesteal opened applications for season 3, and I applied because, and you know how I like to do applications a little different, as I explained. I made a different application, and I knew, since I just recently found out about Lifesteal like a couple months prior, not many of the creators knew who I was at this point. But what I also knew was individuals from Lifesteal I had interacted with before. On Lifesteal, or not on Lifesteal, on servers. Like, I knew of them before. But they didn't probably remember me. But what they would remember is my face. Because, you know, faces are a lot easier to remember than a name, usually. Not my real face, my Minecraft face, the blue slime. And if they didn't remember my face, they've probably seen it in videos that other people had, like, experiences. It would be, like, somewhat recognizable. But, you know, like, when you can somewhat recognize someone, but you don't really recognize them, like, you've seen them before. It's like that. And I knew that. So I played into that, to this really spooky-esque application. It's a really bad application, looking back on it now. But I played into that fact
fact of like, you may not know me, or you may think you might not know me, but I know you. And I showed like replay shots from events where I was side by side with them, and it was like this cool like spooky thing, right? And afterwards, or at that time, I was already friends with Cube as well, and I remember I was pushing Cube to post his application video because he was working on it at the time. I was like really like messaging him like, are you gonna get it in or whatnot? He ended up submitting his application like 30 minutes late. Well, afterwards, I was given like, I had talks with Mid because we were really close, and I found out that the application, it came down to me, Cube, and Bacon for the season 3 applicants. And for the YouTuber season 3 applicants, and they went to our channel. It came down to, I think I was on the higher end until they added Cube last minute, and Cube got in. And this was the time where they watched that old Fortnite video, I think, which is really awkward, but Cube got in. And I remember like being so happy for, like, I was disappointed, of course, because when you don't get into something, you're disappointed. But I was so like, it's like you're disappointed, but I was so happy for Cube. Like, I couldn't have wanted anyone else to get in, and Cube deserved it like so much at that time. And you know, the mindset of like everything happens for a reason thing. Yeah. I've looked back at that time, and I've realized Cube hadn't gotten into Lifesteal at that time, he probably would not still be making content to this day. And to be fair, he's still very busy, but he's in engineering school and he's still doing content and still helping me and interacting with a bunch of different creators. If he hadn't gotten into Lifesteal, I don't think he'd still be here, just being honest. And I would, because I wanted to do film stuff, but I'm happy that he got in at that time because I get to have a close friend with me moving forward. And when Cube got in, afterwards, I find it funny, I knew Mid, right? And I had interactions with like, I think Rek at some point and Vitalacy, but I didn't really know them that well, but I knew somewhat. Cube had not talked to any of them and was barely close with Mid. So what was really cool and really sweet was the day he got in, he wanted to call me to talk about it because I was like helping him with the application stuff. And I think we talked for like 5 hours about that experience. And I knew that it came down to me and him, but I didn't tell him that until like 3 hours into the call because I just wanted him to be happy for getting in because it's so cool. And I think Cube recorded that conversation. So I think he still has that somewhere. And that is like that I think is what made me get so much closer with Cube, like as a friend. And that was like my first real standout moment to the Lifestealers of like knowing who I am. And since then, I've been in a bunch of different events and just gotten to meet all of them one-on-one in a really I've gotten to meet them and become friends with them throughout experiences. I was gonna apply in season 4, but they never did applications. So I just had more time to interact and meet and become closer with people. And when season 5 came around, I knew they were gonna do like some type of application. So I locked in to try to make a video because I wanted to have, in season 4, oh my god, I completely forgot about this. I made my tomb video. And that tomb video, it did really well. That was what got me monetized, and that's kind of what got my name out there a lot more. And I remember I was in a call with Mid, Red, Bacon, and Cube, I'm pretty sure. Bacon was already in Lifesteal at this point. And when I posted my video and it was doing really well, and I just remember vividly I remember Red and Mid got dead silent, and they were like, oh my god, Parrot posted your video for C in the Lifesteal Discord. And I was like, what? I was like freaking out because I was like, there's no way. A Parrot went on Twitter and said this was like the best video he'd ever seen, and I was like of the year, and I was like freaking out. Apparently they were all wanting me to get in at that point when I posted the video. And then Bacon was like, all right, we can do that, but let's wait till I post another one. And so like just to see if it's not just a fluke. And they're like, okay. And so then I knew that I needed to make another video. And I had this banger video concept that I had been sitting on for like a year. And I still haven't posted that banger concept. But I was like, I can do this. I'll just do that banger concept. So I started focusing on that banger concept. That concept takes at least a minimum of a month to record if I wanted to do that. I got 2 weeks into it and realized I should not be doing this. I have a fully recorded video. I should just do that. And so I worked on that video, posted it. I was like, I got a video. I got a second one out. And then they dropped applications at literally 3 hours after my video was posted and said, if you post a video after this post, it will be considered. And you have 3 weeks to do it. So then I had 3 weeks to make a video, which I locked in and made made the Moss video. And when I made the Moss video, I got in. And it was such like a really fulfilling and cool feeling. Like when I did, it was like all this work to get there, and it was really cool to get there. Like all the friends that I made, all the experiences, it was a really nice experience, and I wouldn't change it for the world. It was amazing. It was and getting to meet them all at Vidcon and just having that experience, it was awesome. And that's how I got into Lifesteal. Like the application, the Moss video is what got me in, but if it wasn't for the Tomb video and the other video and the original application and all the people I talked to that I became friends with, I probably wouldn't have been even considered. I don't know though. Maybe. I think it made a big impact personally.
I believe in the whole everything happens for a reason as well. I always say my one's like an extent because not everything in the world happens for a reason. But I do quite believe that, like, for instance, like, I mean, this month has been really weirdly quite big for InsideMC. I've just been thrown so many different opportunities, and I think like different opportunities hopefully that are coming. Like I've got a big video planned for December, which I keep hyping up. So I hope it lives up to the hype, which it should. But like little things like that, like I think like that's the perfect time, and the fact that like now all of a sudden I've got this motivation to do this, and I've got it's like at the perfect time. I've got the resources to be able to do it, and it's like, you know, that's why I agree as well. The whole everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's a really good mindset. Even even whether people believe it's true or not, it's a really good mindset to live by, because there's gonna be hard times. It happens to everyone. And if I sit in that hard time and be like, this sucks, and I don't pull myself out of it, I will stay there. But it's like in that moment, if I was like, say for example in season 3 of Lifesteal, if I didn't get in and I got pissed off and got mad that Cube took the spot or whatever, all that does is make me, 1, lose a friend, and 2, lose any chance to ever get into that server. It's just very negative. It doesn't help anyone. But I think at that moment, looking at it in a very positive outlook, like the everything happens for a reason, like Cube getting in, like he deserved to get in there. It was really cool to see a friend get in there. I made a friend for life, having a conversation. And it's like things will happen that you don't expect, that you may not enjoy, but those things that happen change you and you grow from it in a really cool way. Yeah.
Yeah, so
sorry, that was deep.
No, but it's right though. Like you're completely correct in regards to like the whole perfect time for you to get accepted. And I mean, you even got to look on the other hand, like even if you did get in too early, would it have been too much pressure? Would you have not been as fully ready as you were? Would you have carried on making content creation? I mean, I know you said this is something you've always wanted to do, or like, you know, because you study it as well. Who's to say that you would have actually carried on sticking it had you gotten with season 3? So season 4 was like the perfect time, because look at where you are now. So
that is a very true point.
Yeah, there you go. So look at that, and it just helped with your whole editing thing, and like that then impacts on the MCC Rising 2 application because of how well that did, and it's just a big old pipeline. Look at that.
It's a big old pipeline. That is true.
In regards to more SMPs, then you've played in quite a lot over your time. What is it with SMPs you like so much, anyways?
What is it? Oh, I feel like I went over this before in your last thing, like what I enjoy about SMPs. So me personally, I really like creating things, but I also, one of my big things is I like talking to people. I really like getting the chance to meet and interact with so many cool people in the space. And I feel like the thing that SMPs have over everything else, like other places on the Minecraft community, is that SMPs allow you to have the freedom to do anything you want, but also to an extent, obviously SMPs have it closed off, like usually, but like it allows you to interact with people, like anyone you want. Now you can make an SMP with your friends, people that you like hang out with all the time, and make a really cool vibe environment, or you end up in like these bigger SMPs with creators who you never thought you'd ever speak to, but you get this chance because you're working together in this server environment. And I think one of my favorite things in the Minecraft space is getting that chance to talk with people and being able to play a game with all these cool Minecraft players and content creators is very, very awesome. It's very surreal, and that's one of the things that I enjoy most about it. What was the question exactly? I missed part of it. I forgot what it was.
Just what is it about SMPs you love so much? Like, why do you like? It's like asking me why I like making a podcast. Why do you like doing SMP content?
Yeah, I really enjoy storytelling. I could sit down and write a full video script in a day. I actually do that. I just hate editing personally, because I love writing the stories and I love playing the stories, like experiencing the things, like the real interactions and the real experiences with everyone, because the story shapes itself and it's really cool to watch it all play out. And especially because if everyone is motivated about their own individual goals and their own individual things, it's so cool to watch everyone's story intertwined together. That's one of my favorite things, and I think that's what got me invested in a lot of servers and Lifesteal, because Lifesteal does it really well. Because if everyone has their own morals, their own story that they are following, eventually stories clash, and that is natural if that happens. And when that clash happens, it creates this development. Now, the thing I don't like about editing is going back to the 150 hours of footage that I've recorded of this real experience and rewatching it and finding those moments and cutting them out. It's really painful and really tedious, and I don't enjoy that. And a problem with me, a personal problem, is I love doing these things so much and being involved. I don't like missing out on things. So anytime someone asks me, like, who I know, do you want to do this thing? I will very often say yes. Even if I'm busy with something else, I will say yes. If I can find a time to fit it into my schedule, I will do it. And that is both a blessing and a curse, because I will do so many things, and I've had the opportunity to do so many amazing projects and be a part of so many cool things, but the problem with that is I always prioritize that over myself, because I don't want to let a friend down. I want to like help them out. So if I had the choice between editing for an hour or helping a friend with this project for an hour, I choose the helping the friend, because I want to be a good friend and I think that's cool. And I ended up signing myself on a project so much in last December that I was doing a recording with a different person every half an hour, like with a different person almost. It was crazy. I was stressing myself out way too much. I think I've gotten a lot better with it now. I finally got myself a little bit more organized and like focusing on myself more, but it's held me back a lot more with my actual own self videos. And it's not because I don't enjoy the stories or enjoy the process, it's because I don't enjoy editing. I probably need to like look into more editors and get people to edit things. It's just, that's a whole nother deal itself. But I love doing these things with these creators, and that is what I love so much about SMP content creation, because I get the opportunities to do this stuff a lot more. I think events are very similar, but I feel like with SMPs, I have more freedom to create my own story in it than an event. Because an event, I get to meet a ton of cool people, I get to play, and I get to do a lot of cool experiences, but it's a lot locked into what the game is, you know? Like what this thing. I love the games, but video-wise, I have so much more freedom on an SMP. So, yeah, I think that makes sense. I think that's a good answer to the question.
That was a really, really good answer. I like that. What's some of your best SMP memories then?
Oh, that's a tough question. My best SMP memories. I have a lot. I have a lot of good SMP memories. But I'll stay with one, and it's in one of my videos. It's in my most popular video. It's in the I snuck a famous YouTuber on this Minecraft SMP. I think my favorite memory with that video itself wasn't like I loved like sneaking Rekrap and doing that whole thing. That whole concept was really fun and goofy. What I loved so much about that video was how real everything felt like throughout the experience, especially the first day. I cut out a lot of it in my video because I didn't want to, it didn't fit a lot of what the story was, but that first day was one of the best like gaming experiences I've ever had, because when we started Eclipse, well, we've had Eclipse for years, it's my close friends, right? But when we started Eclipse season 4, we had the biggest roster we had ever had for Eclipse. I think there were like 70 people. I don't even remember, right? But it's all our really close friends. And that first day, someone had this really stupid joke of, what if we do a streaming challenge, last to stop streaming challenge, and we all put money in the pot to, like, whoever wins gets the money. And I'm like, I don't know if we want to do that, but some people wanted to do that. So they did. And I said, I'll stream, but I don't want to, like, pay money to participate in this, like, last stop streaming challenge, so I won't do that. And then Ulrich and my friend Soap were like, we'll split the cost to get you in the streaming challenge. Like, we'll bet on you. I was like, okay, sure. So I streamed, and I streamed for 17 hours. I won the contest, which was really cool. But throughout that stream, things happened that I didn't expect to happen that were so wholesome. Like, I had my own plans for the stream, but there was this moment in the stream where I remember, this is so funny, Cube was in the streaming challenge as well, so he was really locked in on like streaming for a long period of time, and this is really funny, but at one point in the stream, a bunch of like girls from his college got on the microphone and were like, they were like, yo, can you guys convince Cube to come hang out with us at the bar? And we were laughing so much, and Cube said no. He's such a Chad move. He was like, no, I'm playing Minecraft. I'm in the streaming challenge to win, and he refused to go to the bar with them, right? But me, at this time, I had plans to, or I felt bad for him, right? Because he was missing out on things. And I had plans to build a bar on the server. The bamboo bar is kind of like my trend thing that I did on every season. So, I was like, hey, what if we just, like, you may not be able to have a bar party in real life, but what if we have a bar party here with all of us? And we were like, yeah, let's do it. And so we all came together as a group, like 20 of us, and built that bar by hand, all of us. And then we had a party in that bar. And it's so weird because in Minecraft, you don't think, like, how do you do a party? Like, it's kind of weird. But it was like all of us literally just, like, we had people singing songs and playing games and drinking drinks, like, not actual drinks, but it felt so real, even though it wasn't like people looking at it, it's like, oh, that's awkward, you're running around and dancing in Minecraft, like, how does that make any sense? But it was like playing with people from all over the world as friends and just having the time of our lives, and it was awesome. We had we played like different games that we invented like throughout the world for the next several hours. We all just hung out, and it was really cool. And also having Rek along for that journey in secret, that no one else knew that was Rek, and he got to experience it with us, that was also cool. Because it was like a creator that I looked up to being able to be a part of this experience with our friends was awesome. So that's probably one of my, if not my favorite memories. I have other really funny memories that I could go into detail with, but I feel like you don't have that much time, so I can hold off on those unless you want me to.
I mean, don't go into too many because I don't want it to drain out too much. But if you got another one you want to say, that's fine.
Another one. I would say one of my favorite memories was from Eclipse Season 1, when around the time I first joined. And it's funny because I have some of the weirdest first interactions with people ever, and I think it's so funny. Eclipse Season 1, I didn't record like anything because I wasn't joining to make content on it. It was more just to meet people and have fun, right? So all of the Eclipse Season 1 stuff for me was memories, really good memories. Season 2 is when it came into more like building and content and stuff. But in Season 1 of Eclipse, when I first joined, I wanted to be as stupid as possible. And so I did some stupid things. Like, I remember I found this building, and out in front of the building, there was, like, on an island, there was this zombie piglin in a boat that said, please do not touch. Like, don't move them. And I looked at it, I was like, please do not touch. That's really funny. So I got in the boat and drove it 2,000 blocks away and built it a little house. And I screenshotted the house, and I found out that the person who I stole it from was Mid. I didn't know Mid at the time, but I found that out. So I was gonna send her a screenshot of the house, being like, he's in a better place now, like as a joke. And her DMs were off. I was like, dang, I'll just message it. Like, she'll talk about it in the server, and I'll send the message in the server. It'll be fine. And I kid you not, I wake up the next morning. It had so many like really upset messages in the Discord of being like, who touched my child? Like, really upset. And the entire server was like agreeing with her, like, is this a bannable offense? Like, is this a big thing? People shouldn't be doing that.
God.
And I was like, oh my god, I just joined the server like 3 days ago. I don't want to like cause any issues. And I was like, okay, it'll be fine. I'll just send the message that I was going to send prior, and it'll be totally fine. And I send the message with the picture, and I realized in hindsight it probably wasn't a good idea for me to send a picture that says he's in a better place now, because that really sounds bad, because it sounds like I killed him or something. I made up for it, but it's so funny because that was my first interaction with Mid ever, was kidnapping her child. I gave it back to her because I didn't want to cause any issues, but that happened. So, like, there's that moment, and then like around the same time, I remember like Cube, my first time meeting him, I saw he was streaming on Eclipse Season 1, and I was his only viewer for 4 hours, 5 hours. And we had this joke about castle pylons. I don't remember it too much, but I was relating them to, the pylons to children. Like, this is the first child, the second child, like the middle child, and the youngest child. It's really stupid, but both of us remember that conversation vividly as like that's how we first met. And it's like different things like that, those first interactions, those really weird things. I started like cults and did a whole bunch of things on that server. Season 1 have some of my favorite memories with people, just getting to meet them. So I figured that those are some good examples. I have some wild experiences.
You've played on loads of SMPs over the time.
Yes, it's been a while. It's been cool.
Your most viewed video is obviously, you mentioned about the whole sneaking, the stuck YouTube on the Minecraft SMP. I think this is your most recent one as well. Yeah, your most recent one is your second most viewed video.
Yeah.
This block destroyed 100,000 blocks in 4 days. I'm guessing that's talking about, based on the thumbnail, it's talking about that green block thing, right?
You don't know what a moss block is?
That's what it's called. I can't remember the name, man.
The green block thing?
Okay,
oh
right.
My goodness.
I work a job, right? 5 days a week. I record 2 podcasts a week. I edit them up. I manage for a tournament. I do this. I can't remember the name of a Minecraft block, alright?
Okay, I get it. I understand. It's just really funny to me. That green block thing.
But you knew what I was on about. You knew what I was talking about. But with that, it's nice to see that you made you made so much good content, and hopefully you return after a year hiatus on YouTube at least.
Yeah, no, I have plans. I think it'll be cool.
With that, then, do you have anything else that you wanted to talk about, or should we move on to the Twitter question?
I can say one thing that's kind of cool that I've done recently. So recently, I have been working with some people on making Minecraft maps, which is really cool.
Ooh.
And we've been working on these projects for over a year now, almost. And let's just say, I won't get too much detail about it because I don't know who's making videos on it or whatnot. But there is a very high chance that when you post your podcast, that our map is going to be on the Minecraft official blog post as Minecraft Realms. It is a Realms map that's got accepted. We won a map jam. We got second place in a Minecraft map jam, which got our map automatically accepted into Minecraft Realms. And what's cool about that is if we submit a second map, we will have the Realms map maker cape. So
right. And this is better
kind of cool.
Yeah?
It's Bedrock. It's Java Edition. But I think it also transfers over to Bedrock as well. Huh?
How do you play Realms on Java?
There's Realms on Java Edition too.
No, I know there is. I just never know how to play it. Every single time I go on, it's like, this doesn't work.
Oh, yeah. I think it works for both Java and Bedrock, but we are going to get it for Java. And I think out of the millions of people who play Minecraft, only 300 people have it on Java Edition. So it's kind of exciting. It's me, Cube, and Banced are the people who made the map, which is really awesome. But yeah, it's a little. I don't know when it's going to be released, but the last time we talked with the Mojang employee, they said that that it was going to be in the June's blog post, which I don't know like when that's going to be, but assuming June and you're posting this by the end of June, it will probably be out by then, which is really cool. We had to make the map.
When it comes out. I want to play it.
I will. We had to make it the whole map in 5 days. I did all the physical building in the last 2 days because I wasn't free the first 3 days, and we got second place against some of like the best map makers out there, which was awesome. Now because of that, we have an easier access to submitting future maps, like direct connection. So we have a lot of opportunities have opened up through that, which is really cool. But this map, it's not like the most crazy big cool map that we've built, but it is the one that got accepted because of the map jam. So I think it's cool. I think it's a cool thing to share.
Hey, fair enough. That's cool.
Yeah.
Big props. Congrats, man. That's it.
Thanks. Yeah, it's been a fun little project. I wouldn't have been able to do it if it wasn't for Cube. Cube's the one who's like hard pushed it, though. Big thanks to him.
I'm excited to see where you go with it all.
Yeah, it's been fun. Becoming a professional Minecraft builder.
That kind of makes sense actually now to the... Wait, who did you say you built it with?
Cube and Banced.
Because it's really weird that there's a Twitter question from Bans that says, would you rather want to be known as an SMP creator or an event participant? And you can answer in a second. I just want to read the thread. So Xyphia replies, map maker. So then Mr. Cube 6 replies, correct answer. So then Bants replies an hour ago, so what do you want to be known as, Cube? It's
Cube and
Bants. And the entire bit happened on June 9th, which is like, what? Well, June 9th and today, which is really weird.
Those are my two friends who we built the map together with. It's really cool. So for our team, so that we like everything that's like built, I do all the physical like placing of blocks, like map building with world edit and whatnot, and just building it all, making it look pretty. Cube does all the game design, coding, and like making the games function. He does more of the story that gets built. I help him somewhat with that, but he does like all of that. And Cube is also like our team lead who like sets up the meetings, does all the like, he does a lot of stuff with it. I respect Cube so much. And Bance is our person who does all of our 3D modeling and designing and helps out where he can throughout with like a bunch of different other things. And Bance also is a person who already has the map maker cape. He was actually the person who got us into the map jam, and a bunch of other like helped us out with getting the cape process, like understanding how it worked and like getting through it. They're both awesome people. So yeah, I should answer Vance's question, shouldn't I?
Yeah, I was about to say, do you want to do this is a perfect transition to what questions gone. Do you remember, or should I reset?
I remember the question. Would I rather be known as an SMP creator or an event participant? I would rather be known as an SMP creator, personally. The reason for that is what I've said before. I feel like SMP creator, I have so much more freedom with what I'm doing. And if I'm known for that, people are more likely going to come to me for those videos. You know, like I want to be in more events and interact with more people in the community. And I love events. They're a ton of fun. But I would rather be known as an SMP creator because SMPs are where I have the most freedom and most fun. So I want people to come to me for that. Doesn't mean I can't do the same types of stories on events, and doesn't mean I won't make event videos. Just means that I'd rather be known as SMP. So yeah.
The next one comes from Cacti, Eternal Cacti. Big up Cacti. Why did the White House fall on you?
Oh man, that it's because of Red. He's a really bad driver, I'm gonna be honest.
Oh my god, wait, that's when Captain Sparkles joined Lifesteal. I was meant to bring that up. Okay,
yeah.
little talking it based on this fair question. Yeah, I remember seeing that when the floating bloody White House. That crashed into you?
So I was there was a moment on stream where I fell off the White House, and so I was trying to get back to it, and I was like chasing it. Like me and Mid both fell off. Mid died. I landed and survived. I was trying to like chase after it to like get back up to the White House, and as I was chasing it, Red accidentally broke the steering wheel that controlled the White House, and so all gravity from the White House just like stopped. Like it fell. It just immediately lost all of its flying capabilities, and the physics of it made it look like it was falling, and I was directly underneath it. So I just, instead of running away or trying to get away, I thought in that moment, I just looked at the White House falling, and I was like, it would be so funny if I just stood underneath it and looked straight up as the White House is falling straight on me. And so I did that. Now, I thought it was such a funny bit that I clipped it and I put it on Twitter. And it is my most liked Twitter clip out there. Not my most viewed, but my most liked. I think it got 18,000 likes. I don't actually know. But it got a lot of likes. It was really cool. I've never had a Twitter clip do that well, but it was funny. That's what they're referring to.
Yeah, I remember. How was that like? Because I remember you dropped out of you and Red dropped out of Mayhem, which is, I mean, rightfully so. Don't worry, I'm not hurt about it at all. I mean, what was that like having Captain Sparkles just join Lifesteal?
Oh, that was surreal. I worked hard to get that to happen. A lot of people don't know this. I need to make a video on it. You
need to make a video on a lot of things, apparently, for so
you don't realize how behind I am on my backlog of videos. I've talked to so many people about this. No, the Captain Sparkles experience, it didn't even start that way. It started, so on Lifesteal, they decided to do an election thing, and I have like this whole story built up for my whole character on Lifesteal. I've done so many different things. I went through this character arc of like wanting peace, then finding out peace isn't possible, trying to be safe, to then like having a breaking point when I got betrayed and dropped a nuke on my base and like had this whole epic speech and whatnot. It was like a whole thing. And then afterwards, when they opened up elections, I was like, okay, peace may not be possible on Lifesteal, but maybe I could bring creators together united in this chaos, right? And that was like my whole thing, like for the election, unity. And I had some campaign things that I thought were really cool for unity, and I was like talking to a bunch of different people about it, and someone came up to me with a suggestion. One of my friends, Vitalacy, who left Lifesteal, I had a lot of talks with him about my campaign, and he said instead of going for my unity like ideas of the actual physical like coding plugin stuff, I should try to use my campaign with Unity by getting other people. Well, I had this idea, but this was something that he suggested, like pushing for more of combining campaigns with other people. So I reached out to Red if he wanted to combine, and he agreed. So me and Red combined campaigns, and then we reached out to Squiddo. And Squiddo didn't want to. It was so funny because me and Squiddo were really close, and I got betrayed so hard by Squiddo in that election thing. It was so funny. But when, because Squiddo before this was actually wanted to be my my campaign manager, but then she kind of got guilt tripped into becoming the one of the candidates. And then when she became a candidate, she was like, "Yeah, I want you to win 4C." And then like the next day when we came to her with the proposal of combining, she was like, "No, I want all the power for myself. I want to have creative mode and be God." And I was like, what? But either way, when we were doing that, Red actually just out of nowhere to convince Squiddo, because I had a funny idea of what if instead of like, because all of us want to be God of Lifesteal, obviously, right? What if for our campaign, instead of making ourselves God, we give someone else the God powers, right? And I thought it'd be funny, since Squiddo didn't want the God powers and openly told me that at first. I thought me and Red could like join forces with Squiddo and make Squiddo our God, because I thought that would be funny. And then Red suggested to me, like, what about Captain Sparkles? Like we could like I could bring Captain Sparkles on as our God. I was like, we could do that too. That could be funny. Well, Red used that joke about possibly inviting Captain Sparkles as our God as a motivator to get Squiddo on board with us, which didn't work. But it led to Red actually DMing Captain Sparkles to see if that was a possibility. And he was like, yeah, sure, I'm down. And it was the stupidest bit I think we've ever done. But it was so surreal, because it's like one of the three creators I feel like that I wouldn't know how to react to if I met. And then I met him. He was really chill. I only really got to talk to him through that like stream experience. But it was a lot of fun, a lot of chaotic. It was one of the best days on Lifesteal that I had. So fun.
There you go. I mean, having Captain Sparkles on the podcast was amazing too.
Oh yeah, how was that?
It was great. Yeah, it came out last Friday actually. Funny enough, so
that's cool.
Just was amazing speaking to him. Yeah.
Yeah, an inspiration. He's a big time Minecrafter. I love Captain Sparkles.
The next question then comes from the last question here, because we've answered pretty much everything else just in the topical conversation, is from the real _TXT #1 fan. So I just had to ask.
Okay.
Them. I mean, you follow them as well. So you know. Since joining Lifesteal, has it been hard to deal with increased pressure to upload and also increased fame in terms of fans?
No, I don't think since joining Lifesteal it's been hard for me to upload, or because of increased pressure. I feel like it's the opposite. I feel like since joining Lifesteal, like it's been hard for me to upload, not because of increased pressure, but because it's like once I got into Lifesteal, I had this moment of like where like I had spent like 2 years trying to get into Lifesteal, right? And then I got there, and it's like this feeling of like, okay, what now? You know, like I love storytelling and I want to keep making videos. I've kind of like led myself into a hole of I keep doing more and more things, like I mentioned before, where I keep interacting with, like I keep doing bigger and cooler projects with people, but I'm not posting them. And I feel like one thing, not like a big thing, it's like I have less pressure or feeling like I need to post a video because I don't have something to work towards personally that I feel like driving me, I guess, as much. But I have more pressure from friends around me wanting me to do it, But the hard part is when friends are telling me to upload things and how do I explain it? When friends are telling me to upload and I hear it from a bunch of different people, it's just kind of, and I'm not able to get through with my deadline in time, it just kind of hits with more demotivation, I guess. I don't know how to describe it. So it's a mess, but I feel like for the question itself, since joining Lifesteal, I have not had too much of increased pressure to upload from fans and community, but I feel like I have a self pressure on myself that has been holding me back a lot. So I don't know if that was a good answer to that question. We've been talking for a while, but I think it makes sense.
Let force of it cook. All right, just before the end of 2024, before the end of 2025, before the end of 2026, they're gonna upload at least 2 videos. Okay. All right.
You keep pushing it back. I don't know if I feel that
before
one.
the end of 2027. Sorry.
Yeah,
no.
I guess.
You
First.
You go first. You go first.
I guess on a deep note a little bit, this is like a personal thing. 2024, I had a lot of high hopes for, but I feel like I always have the worst years on odd numbered years. Not odd numbered years, even number years. I don't know why, but like starting this year, I've had a pet pass away, a pet lose a limb that has cancer and has been going through a lot of issues, a couple friends and family members passing away, a lot of friends leaving the Minecraft community and YouTube space, and just a lot of demotivation and dealing with school and struggle and just like a bunch of different things. This year just hasn't been that good of a year. And just being on a real note with it. And I hope that moving from it, I will have a lot more of good experiences in the future. And I hope that all this backlog of fun things that I've done, I can show to people, because I've done throughout this year of not posting so many actually really cool things in this time. And I really just want to share it. So hopefully I can do that, and especially I want to push it this summer. But if I'm not able to do it this summer, it is what it is. I'm gonna try to get as much as I can for the community and the people. But yeah, sorry that was too deep. That was a little personal, but I thought it was a reasonable thing to say.
I think I mean, I got a lot of like big what's the word for it, where like you want to compliment on, not look up to them. I wouldn't say I look up to you. God. I've got a lot of respect for you. There we go.
I appreciate that.
But I'm sorry all of that's happened. I didn't know.
No, it's okay. I didn't want to like pity or anything. It's just something
I know,
that
but I can still say like, it's just like when you say like I'm sorry. I mean, it's more so like, I don't know, you make amazing content, you are a really good creator, and I have genuinely enjoyed talking to you. I mean, even after like with the other video you were in, I enjoyed talking to you. So I mean, if you ever want to just waffle, and I like talking, it's always nice to take a little bit of a break from editing the podcast, because I mean, I have free to edit now after I record this, because I'm fully
I love talking to people. I would be down, but also I do this a lot, and I'm gonna get sucked into long hours of conversation, and I'd be down, but I gotta make sure that I am free to like do like conversations and stuff. Like if we're ever just in a call and we talk, then sure. But if you want to message me or whatever, I talk to people all the time, so it's fun.
Well,
this is what I enjoy. So yeah, I also see one question that I just want to answer personally because it's funny. I'm looking on the Twitter. Kind of curious, what made you use high mouse sensitivity in the first place by Darkish?
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah. I probably should have asked that one, but yeah, go on.
No, I just think it's a funny question. I think I saw it before, and I find that hilarious. When it comes to high mouse sensitivity, I didn't know I had high mouse sensitivity because I didn't know what that was at the time. I think it's funny, when I was younger, I would use a high mouse sensitivity. I didn't know it, but my parents would come downstairs, like my dad, and he would move my mouse, and it would just shoot across the screen, like, really quickly. And I'm like, why are you moving the mouse so much? Like, you know, like when a kid is, like, talking to a parent as if they're old and they just don't know what they're doing. I was like, what are you doing? Like, why are you moving the mouse so much all over the screen? It's not that hard, right? And then MCC Rising happened, and Nominal was like, what's your sensitivity at? And I'm like, I don't know, like how do I check that? And they're like, well, what's your DPI? And I was like, what's that? So I look up what my mouse's like sensitivity and DPI is, and I'm like, wait a minute, my mouse has 12,000 DPI, and I have it set to the highest setting, and I didn't even know. I just naturally had it like that, and since then I've become more aware of that. And I don't know if that's good or not, because to some extent, it's not good, because I both use it as an excuse sometimes, but also I notice it more, and I get more shaky with my hand because of it, and that becomes very apparent in my streams. But it's also a good thing because I've been slowly lowering my sensitivity. And I lowered it recently for PvP practice, and I did really good in Pandora's Box. So I'm hoping. I think this setting that I'm at, I don't know what the DPI exactly is on it because it's a setting on the mouse that I changed, but I'm hoping I can like get more comfortable with this with parkour and stuff, because I did really good with PB's PvP stuff with this sensitivity, and I hope that it helps out in the future. But yeah, I think it's kind of funny. I've been made fun of by a lot of people for my sensitivity, and it's really goofy. I think it's funny.
There you go.
That's all the questions I think that.
There you go. Yeah. I mean, we didn't go into full depth of tournaments, but we've been recording for nearly 3 hours. So like,
my bad.
Oh, it's not your bad. No,
what are podcast normal lengths?
I mean, the longest I've recorded is with like Crew, which was like 3 hours 40 maybe.
Oh God, I'm close to the total.
Well. I mean, like the thing is, I'm not even cutting it short. Like, if you want to talk about tournaments, you can, but I feel like we've kind of just passed that. And there's not really much to say about other tournaments. We talked about the main MCC Rising one, and I think it'd be like I don't know. I want to try and not repeat too much on podcasts because it's nice to get everyone's perspective. But when I keep repeating the same tournament questions of everyone, it gets a little bit repetitive. So
that makes sense. I get that.
I mean, unless you wanted to say anything, or is it all good?
Oh no, I've said so much already. I appreciate you bringing me on the podcast, and it's fun to talk about things like this. I don't get the opportunity, and it gives. I don't know who all would be watching it, but it gives people a chance to hear more inside thing and have their own opinions or understand a little bit more about the process. I don't know. It's kind of cool.
No worries, and you've been an amazing guest, and I'm very glad I brought you on InsideMC, because Midweek MC would have had to end like 15 minutes ago. So just based on like the it being on a Wednesday and just time frames and stuff, more so because AJ's co-host. But yeah, before I do the outro here, I always like to give this part for you to promote yourself, just for anyone who's listened this far and
promote myself.
Podcast. Where can people find Force of It?
Oh my gosh, well, you guys can find me on YouTube, youtube.com/@forceofit. I think that will work. For CVIT, but you can also find me on Twitch. I try to stream more regularly on there if you want to see more just like behind the scenes stuff, because uploads are very slow, as you've heard from this podcast. But I also upload all my VODs on 5Civit if you can't make it to a stream, and I have other channels as well that like second channel content and whatnot. But I'm around in the community. You can see me message stuff on Twitter at it's all just at 4Civit, at 4Civit YouTube, 4Civit Twitch, 4Civit Twitter. I am on most social medias. I hope you guys enjoyed my conversation. So yeah.
Same name is in the title.
Yep.
There you go. Well, thank you, Forsey. You've been an amazing guest, and this was an amazing talk. Genuinely, thank you so much for coming on. Who knows? Maybe I can bring you on sometime down in the future. We'll see.
I would love to. It sounds awesome. I had a much pleasure talking about all this. It was nice meeting you. Well, meeting you. Like I've known you before, but like getting more conversation with you, I guess, is a good way
actually
to
having
say
an
it.
interaction, yeah. And that's why I said I like about the podcast. I bring on 2 different creators every single week, and it's interacting with creators who, like you, I've seen around but never actually talked to. So
yeah. Well, I think that's about it. I think. Thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you. With that being said, this brings the end of InsideMC. Thank you all for listening. Stay safe. Don't eat too much bread. Pieces.
I will.